taking the right lane at the World Drive exit, causing heavy stop-and-go traffic from the Greenway. Things are still slow for those who need to travel by the major attractions exits this morning eastbound along I-4. If you see traffic problems, make sure to call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. With traffic, I'm Samantha Canning.
This report is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
Summer means a whole lot of extra miles. Last place you want your engine to give out is halfway to nowhere. That's why every oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change includes a point maintenance check.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
Change wisely.
We're doing it, baby. Live sketch comedy makes its way to Mount Dora. 2 award-winning comedians who wrote 20 sketches are bringing their best 14. No one else needs to see the other 6. These 14, however, are a different story. Join comedians Ross Padgett from The Jim Colbert Show and Joel Warren from Good Sauce with Ross and Joel for a sketch comedy journey no audience will forget. August 29th at the Mount Dora Music Hall. Bring your laughing shoes, rated 18+. More info and tickets available at realradio.fm/comedy.
This is Greg Trzynski from the Original Mattress Factory. Parents, before you buy your student's mattress online, consider this. At OMF, we offer the same convenience, but with major advantages. You can actually try our mattresses before buying, crucial for your student's comfort. You'll know exactly where your mattress comes from, right here in our local factory. By supporting the Original Mattress Factory, you're investing in our community. And here's the kicker. You'll pay less than you would online. Quality sleep, local support, and better prices. OriginalMattress.com.
Hey, Tanner, my tile looked brand new right after Zero Res cleaned it.
That's awesome. Years of dirt hide deep in the grout lines. Zero Res cleans efficiently and effectively. Spelled forward or backwards.
Zero Res.
It's the right way to clean.
Hey, it's that mortgage guy, Don. The number one mistake people make when getting a mortgage is not comparing their quote. It's so easy to compare at my website, thatmortgageguydon.com.
With thatmortgageguydon.com.
Thinking about upgrading your sleep? Now is the time to shop Sleep Number. Trusted by millions for nearly 40 years, Sleep Number offers superior comfort, personalized adjustability, temperature benefits, and value that is unmatched in the industry. And right now, during the Sleep Number Labor Day sale, all mattresses are on sale. Invest in your sleep and experience firsthand Sleep Number's personalized comfort. Stop by a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com to learn more.
At Mayo Clinic in Florida, we're treating the untreatable. Using a patient's unique genetic makeup, our researchers are developing personalized cancer vaccines that help stimulate the immune system to better fight the disease and prevent it from recurring. We're making more possible at Mayo Clinic because every day we're doing what's never been done. Learn more at mayoclinic.org/possible. Mayo Clinic. You know where to go.
Dan Dennis here. Look, I don't need an attorney to tell you distracted driving is bad. Orlando attorney Mo DeWitt sees the aftermath every single day, and it's awful. So do me a favor. Eyes on the road, hands on the wheel, and keep it right here on Real Radio. Injured on the go? Just call Mo. Just call Mo.com.
Hey, Russ Rollins here. Listen, moving sucks. Packing, organizing, worrying about your stuff, getting all wrecked, and I'll never do it without Cento Moving. I got to tell you, man, they're awesome. This is literally ranked one of the 10 most high stressful things in your life is moving, and with a company like Cento Moving, they make it so much easier. I've used them several times. Cento Moving is the way to go. It's spelled C-E-N-T-O, Cento Moving. They're local, independent, family-owned, and awesome to work with. CentoMoving.com. That's CentoMoving.com.
Sunnyside Air Conditioning.
Hi, my air conditioner isn't working.
We're hosting a pet rock adoption telethon.
Pet rocks?
The internet says they're endangered.
Rocks are everywhere.
You know what's everywhere?
Frank Gay is everywhere. I'm calling Frank Gay.
When you have AC problems, you need help now. One of our licensed and certified technicians can have your AC blowing cold air in no time. That's the Frank Gay way.
That's the Frank Gay way.
FrankGayServices.com.
The future of cornhole is here. From casual backyard games to professional ACL tournaments, the Cornhole app is your all-in-one hub for the game you love. Keep score, track stats, follow your favorite players, and manage leagues and tournaments with powerful event tools. Whether you're a brand new player or an ACL pro, the Cornhole app connects you to the entire cornhole community. Download the Cornhole app today.
Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
Coming to you live from the JustCallMo.com studios. Injured on the go? Just call Mo. Need help after an accident? Visit JustCallMo.com or dial 1-800-CALL-MO. This is WTKS-FM HD1 Cocoa Beach, Orlando, an iHeart radio station. Guaranteed human. Someone's going to get offended. It's just the way the world works. So to hopefully save everyone a little time and or energy, here's this. The opinions that you hear are those of the host and callers, and not those of iHeartMedia, its management, or advertisers. The News Junkie is on. The best friends you never knew you had, running through the most viral stories of the day. The News Junkie starts now.
It is Monday, August 24th, 2026. Lots to get to today. From Ejected from a WNBA game to the Washington Post is forced to rehire a reporter over Charlie Kirk comments, and the Lindsay Clancy trial closing arguments. Plus your calls, dispatches, emails, texts, and more. C-Lane is here.
Hello!
So are you. You can join us on the show today. Send us a dispatch over at thenewsjunkie.com right now. You can also watch the show on YouTube and twitch.tv/thenewsjunkie. Your messages rolling right into the studio in real time. How's everybody doing on a Monday?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Welcome back, man.
Thank
How was
you.
Nashville, huh?
It was great. I'm a little sore.
You turned into a cowboy while you were there for a couple of days?
Buddy,
or what?
I tried my hardest. I tried. I walked into a cowboy hat store that had various different cowboy hats, and I said, hey, do you have anything in size 8? And they went, oh, I think we have like 2 hats. They're in size 8.
They have to go into the back room and like blow dust off a hat box or something.
Well, the problem is it's not like when you shop for wine, a lot of places will separate it by the grape, right? You know, you have all your reds here and all that. When you shop for clothes, it's like the design, and then you have to go through the pile and find. You know, I'm not telling you anything new that anybody's hearing right now. So if you're trying to find an oversized hat, oftentimes you have to go to every hat and be like, look at the bottom one. Is there an 8? Is there an 8? They found me one, and I was like, oh. And they're like, well, this one's $600. I was like, nope.
$600?
It was a Stetson.
For a cowboy hat.
For a cowboy hat. And I said, you know what? Let me at least just put it on so I could feel what, like, a cowboy hat. You know, I could see what it is. I forgot to get a picture. But
you can't wear that out in the wild, though. I feel like birds would be landing on it and stuff. It's such a big, like, size
I could probably
8
land
hat.
my drone on it.
You'll have drones just flying by, just landing on top of that thing.
And you know, it's a brand new hat, so even at size 8, it still felt a little tight. And they were like, "Hey, but it's 40% off," and I'm like, "Still a no."
Yeah, Celia went to some place in Nashville. Everybody, we'll get into all the stuff happening in the world in a moment. But at one of the places you went to, there was an iHeartRadio studio inside the bar.
At Jason Aldean's. Do you have the picture? It's in the text thread.
I'll bring it up. Hang on, I'll bring it up. Yeah. Go ahead and yap about it.
At Jason Aldean's multi-level bar, where I think they've somehow given the bottom floor to Post Malone, but the rest is Jason Aldean. And they have their own, like, iHeart Country studio in there. I think some people, I mean, this picture was taken on Sunday, so there's nobody in there. But it looked legit. The equipment inside looked like, oh, they've got a radio studio in here.
Part
it's
of
weird.
you say, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to stay here now, and then I'll do the show from Jason Aldean's bar at the iHeartRadio studio. Sean will do it from his studio, and then the rest is going to be history.
The thought was there. I also I like how Josh called me out on our text thread. So I was like, it looks like there's room for at least 3 people to broadcast there. And Josh was like,
I see what you're doing. Yeah. All right, let's get to it. Here we go. Let's put our ears to the ground, our fingers on the pulse. Let's see what's happening in this great, big, wide world of ours. And we go to a press conference, everybody. Yes, indeed.
Oh, that's exciting.
This was RFK. He was doing a press conference, and there was a funny moment that happened in the middle of it. This is one of those things where if you wrote it into a show, they would go, that's too ridiculous
people aren't going to believe that happened. But here's what went down at this press conference with RFK.
Drowning is the leading cause of death associated with wandering. Children with autism are 100 times more likely to drown than...
Okay, it is important to note he's doing a press conference about autistic kids drowning, which is, it's terrible, and it's just a truth to life. Autistic kids, for some reason, real autistic kids, not like TikTok autistic, like severely autistic kids, they're driven to bodies of water sometimes, and then they do end up drowning. So he's talking about a very serious thing, all right? That's what's going on at the press conference.
Death associated with wandering. Children with autism are 100 times more likely to drown than neurotypical children. We have a responsibility to do better.
Okay.
On an autistic, sorry about that. When an autistic...
Is his ringtone a duck quacking?
Yes. In the middle of the press conference, RFK's phone starts ringing, and apparently it's a quacking duck sound that he has selected as his representative ringtone. I don't know why or...
Do better on an autistic, sorry about that.
Oh, sorry. What a weird choice, folks. I don't know. Like, am I the only person? Am I the last normal American who does the normal American thing and just keeps his phone on vibrate all the time? Am I the last one?
What do you mean, the last one?
The last one. Everybody got to have some blaring ringtone, got to have some quacking duck, got to have some weird... Am I the only one who just goes silent vibration all the time? Is that...
I think I'm like 98% silent. And usually that's because there's at least a point or two throughout a span of a quarter of a year where I accidentally mash the silence button on my phone and turn it on. And I'm like, oh, wow, why is it making so much noise? My wife keeps some of her ring sounds on. And I'm like, why don't you turn those off?
What are you doing?
Like the one for the Ring doorbell camera.
Yeah.
That every dog knows that sound and they go ape-s when they hear that chime.
Is it a quacking duck?
It's not a quacking duck. I think that one, there would be some dogs that would get excited for that too.
Yeah, I guess so. So there he goes at the press conference. RFK Jr.'s quacking phone goes off. It was a big...
Got his ringtone at the Duck Dynasty fan site. Just 99 cents.
We got a lot to talk about. We got to, of course, talk about the Lindsay Clancy trial, all the mayhem, the people losing their minds, the people's brains turning into potatoes. That there's more of that happening, and the closing arguments are underway. So we'll address that as we go along. The Washington Post firing this reporter, all of that good stuff. But right now, let's get to our winner really quick of last week's Rate My Blank. And I'll tell you what the new one is.
Did I miss any good stories on Friday?
Garbage. All garbage on Friday.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but it was all garbage.
Way to go.
No. It was okay. It was decent on Friday. But our winner, without a shadow of a doubt, is the lady who puked in the cash drawer at her job.
Yeah.
So, I want to say congratulations to that lady.
One,
that was a good story.
It had a strong lead, and nobody caught up.
Nobody did eventually catch up there. I thought they might. There were some great stories, though. There were some really, really, really good stories there. So we appreciate you sending those in. But she's the winner, the woman who puked in the cash drawer with her embarrassing story. And that opens us up to a brand new challenge, a new Rate My Blank for the entire week. What this means is you listen to this part, and then throughout the week, we'll take your submissions. You can record a dispatch. That's what we call them over on the website. And the winner gets a great prize, a whole bunch of merch and all kinds of good stuff. And the challenge this week is Rate My Weirdest Talent. Now, here's what I want you to do, okay? So you can record a video or audio dispatch, send it in, and when it comes in, I want you to tell us what your weirdest talent is. And then either Sealand or I or Josh, if he's here, can flag you on it, right? If you say, look, my weirdest talent is X, and we go, I don't know. If we flag you on it, you have to come on the show and prove to us that you can actually do this talent.
Oh, so we're not having them do in the initial submission. You just want them to describe the talent. Okay.
If they can, even better. But if they describe it via an audio dispatch, we could throw a flag out and go, I don't know. If we need to see this. Some of them we might need to see and you're going to have to join us on the show. But Rate My Weirdest Talent is the challenge for this week, and we'll see what you have. To join in on that, go to thenewsjunkie.com and record a dispatch for us over there. It was a big racing-ass weekend, the Freedom 250 race, baby.
Hell yeah.
Holy cow, they were racing around Washington. There was people everywhere, race cars flying, going tens of miles per hour.
This is history.
It was pretty cool. They have like all the race cars were going around Washington, D.C. for the Freedom 250 race. My favorite part was they do this whole run-up, and then, do you know at the beginning of a race like this is an IndyCar race, NASCAR race, any of those kind of races, same thing. At the beginning, they have the green flag, and, somebody does the green flag, and whoa, and the cars haul ass and stuff. Trump waved the green flag, and it was like instant meme. Like the moment I saw it, I was like, this is a 1,000%.
I'm going to be a meme.
Like, green flag memes, all sorts of stuff. Oh, God. All right, so here they go.
In front of the Capitol building, they will round turn one.
So they're going around the turn, and they're getting to the point here, and Trump is about to wave the green flag to start them off.
See the green flag waved by President Trump.
Here he goes.
We have green. We are racing in the
The way he waves the flag is like it's like instant memery. There's just no way, like green flag memes and everything. The way Trump waved the flag, I'll put the visual up this on See It Now.
We have green. We are racing.
I thought there was a solid chance he was going to whack Melania with that thing. Who
her
been seen in
or
a little while.
Anybody else. And also, what was the look on his face? I couldn't tell if he was happy to be waving the green flag, if he was, if he thought like, I'm just doing this. This is really just purely ceremonial. Like,
Dude, I waved the hell out of that green flag, man. It looked like he was afraid it was going to be a weak wave, a weak flag wave. So he went a little extra with it. And wow. Really got it out there. A
weak wave would be a little funny, actually. Just like if it's just a little.
It's a sad little one. If you did it like you were conducting an orchestra, just dangle it out and wave it around, that doesn't work. So he went big on this one for the Freedom 250 Grand Prix. What a time. What a race. And our winner, by the way, Kyle Kirkwood. Congratulations to Kyle Kirkwood for the big win. The Freedom 250. Unbelievable. They said he couldn't do it. Somebody said he couldn't do it somewhere. Let's talk about what happened at the box office this weekend. Oh, my God. Unbelievable. I hope you went to see some movies. Cillian was in Nashville, so he probably didn't go to the theater.
Did not see any movies, no.
He was too busy drinking the whole time.
I did not see any movies.
In fact, right back to it this morning, I hear.
I haven't opened this. I have been handed a beer.
Got handed a beer with the weirdest message along with it, apparently.
Angel gave me a Bud Light. He goes, dude, this is 1 day old. And I was like, all right.
Like it was a newborn baby. This beer is just 1 day old right here.
Does it taste better?
It might. You're going to have to find out.
I might have to find out.
Number one at the box office this weekend, as you guessed, Spider-Man, Brand New Day, bringing in another $39 million with a total domestically at $854.9 million on week 4. Insidious makes its way into the second spot, the horror film bringing in $25 million. And the ladies love that Insidious series, man. It's pretty crazy. The guy who's the actor who's in all the Insidious movies, and then he's in all of the Conjuring movies. No one really knows this guy's name. Look him up. I don't know his name.
I'm bringing it up right now. You talking about the bald guy?
I think his name is Patrick or something. He's not bald. He's in the Insidious series, and he's like a good-looking kind of dude.
I don't have Patrick. I have Sam Spruill.
I don't know. Maybe
Brandon Perea, Joseph Lopez. Nope. Maybe I'm on the wrong Insidious. This is
Patrick Wilson. You're looking at the wrong one. This Patrick Wilson guy is in all of these movies. Nobody knows the name Patrick Wilson outside of a few people who are mega fans. But this guy, he's in so many horror movies. He's like the horror movie guy. He's in all those Insidious movies that made a ton of money. He's in every scary movie in the history of ever. It's kind of insane.
Something about his face that just lends itself to horror movies, or maybe that's just kind of like he got typecast early on and he's cool with it because he enjoys the work.
He was in The Nun. He was in all of these things that came out of the whole world of these movies. It's crazy. Fang Freakatastic says, I can never remember that guy's name. That's my point. Like, this guy's probably brought in so much box office money, and nobody knows old Patrick Wilson's name until today. The Odyssey in at number 3. The propaganda movie Paw Patrol. Dino movie. It's a Dino version. In at number 4 again. And to Oak Street, the other Dino movie, beaten out by the Paw Patrol cops. That's an interesting one. I think I'll see that at some point with $9 million. Mutiny at number 6. Tony at number 7. Is that the Anthony Bourdain one? I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there was some decent buzz. A24, if I'm not mistaken, right?
It
for
only
the Tony
made
one?
$6 million in 7th place. And then Fast and Furious, a re-released movie there, and Spa Weekend and Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miaz.
Because they're gearing up for making that latest Fast and the Furious, the 11th or 12th Fast and Furious movie.
Can't wait, man.
That was the one that, like, I had the story a couple weeks ago that Vin Diesel said it was like the best or maybe second best movie script he's ever read, and I was like,
I'm sure.
Vin, how many movie scripts have you read? I'm sure Triple X isn't up there, but
he's too busy creepily flirting with some interviewer to read the rest of the scripts.
Yeah,
that dude, man. Chat, Fast and Furious, fan or not a fan? All right, because people are very on this one. I've never met a Fast and Furious fan, but they must be out there in droves. They must be out there. These I've never met one in my life. Somebody goes, "Oh, Fast and Furious number 7 was my favorite."
I've never met somebody that says that Fast and the Furious was their favorite ride at Universal.
It's done. It's done.
Yeah,
they closed that down. Never seen that before in my life. That Courtney and I's relationship has lasted twice as long as the damn Fast and Furious ride. They built a whole ride. Anyhow, I could go off on that for days. I'll stop. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll get into this player kicked out of the WNBA game. He showed up and got into it with one of the players on the court. What actually happened? What did she say to this guy, this former NBA star who got kicked out of the WNBA game? And first emails coming in today, first talents and Rate My Blank. A busy, busy day ahead of us. Even Amy Caulfield coming up within the hour. And that's all coming up next on the News Junkie.
Real Radio is on Facebook at Real Radio 1041. Sponsored by the law offices of Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800.
Hello, hello. Let's hear from Monday, everybody. Welcome behind the scenes of the show. Welcome behind the scenes of the show. Courtney has informed me I can only wear my new shirt in the studio. She says you absolutely are forbidden from wearing this around the neighborhood. And I'll probably forget at some point, like my say perhaps to drugs or some of my other shirts. But this one, she has said, you are forbidden. You are forbidden from wearing this shirt in the neighborhood. So I will listen to her for now. Okay, folks, let's get started. What did you think, YouTube, Twitch, and TNJ chat, what did you think was the biggest story of the weekend? I watch your comments, so I know if there's something we need to make sure we focus on today. What did you think, in a couple of words, was the biggest story of the weekend? Sean got that shirt from Hayden Panettiere. Oh, too soon. Too soon. Oh, GTA 6 leaks. That's a good one. Well, I got that in the stack. We're going to talk about that today. If you're new here, it is all viral news, and we're here 4 hours a day. It's a live syndicated radio show, but we also stream on YouTube and Twitch, and you get the breaks here. Skull Mic is what we call it. The fact that we could be in for a hurricane soon, Tony, don't say that. Holland cutting his hair. I don't know if that reached the level of, hey, we should talk about this. Talk about the soccer player, I believe. He cut his hair with a military cut. I see everything, okay? I see it all. Orlando City with the W. There's nothing I focused on less this weekend. Nothing I focused on less. The Trump flag, all right, we checked that off. The Robot Olympics, I've got that, Bootsy. I've got the Robot Olympics for sure. And before we start mixing it up with the drama, our goal for today, as it is every day, 25 subscribers and gifted subs. We are at 2 already. How about that? We have had 2 subscribers. You can support the show by signing up to a premium account access level over at thenewsjunkie.com. It's as little as $2.99 a month. You can get a gift when you check out. If you're already a subscriber, you can gift subscriptions to other listeners and viewers. It's awesome. B Mills, thank you for 9 months. Appreciate that. Well, we got 2 already. And might I show you something that is up now? When you subscribe or gift subscriptions, for a subscription that you get for yourself, you get 1 credit. And for gifting, you get, if you gift 3, you get 3 credits, 4 credits, et cetera, et cetera. There's a new item in the store for rewards. I had some of these. So I put 15 of them up. These nice little canvas totes. And if you gift 5 subs, you can get your hands on one of these. It's so useful. I mean, you're out around town. You're shopping. You're putting your show prep away at the end of the show. Just a lot of different ways you can use this. But there's 15 of these up for 5 credits over at thenewsjunkie.com. Get them while you can. Thanks for all your support, everybody. All right, we're back live on the show in 2 minutes. Agree or disagree, chat? Agree or disagree with this tweet, which I shall read to you momentarily. Poor Casey Anthony. She killed her daughter in the wrong era. Had she waited 15 years, she'd be a hero. Agree or disagree? Poor Casey Anthony. She killed her daughter in the wrong era. Had she waited 15 years, she'd be a hero. Talking about the Lindsay Clancy trial reaction. I like the tote bag. Of course you do. Imagine all the things you can put in it. Imagine all of the stuff. Going to the beach, small grocery bag. I don't know. There's probably various other things you can use it for. 90 seconds. Agree, sadly. Oof. Yeah. The reaction to this case has led us up to the closing arguments in the Lindsay Clancy case, which are going to be going on today. And I ask of you ahead of those, let's put our guesses in. Do we think that they're going to find her not guilty by reason of insanity? Or do you think they're going to find her guilty? Those are the options, right? Guilty or not guilty by reason of insanity. She's not saying she didn't do it, Lindsay Clancy. She's saying she did it, but it was a combination of postpartum depression and over medication, and she was trying to get help, et cetera, et cetera. Do we think she's going to get guilty or not guilty by reason of insanity? That's what we have to start figuring out. Tom, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Big support from Tom. Thank you, Tom. All right, we're coming back. Stand by.
Idea. And happy 50th.
Touchdown!
The
Countdown to the new NFL season is on.
And now, all 32 in-market local teams can be heard on the free iHeartRadio app.
He's in! That's a jet touchdown!
Just open the app and search your favorite team.
Plus, Fox Sports Radio breaks it all down.
As we get closer to week 1.
It's crazy, and it's fun.
Join the conversation and stay locked in. Live, local games with you all season long.
Download the iHeartRadio app.
Search NFL and press play.
What's your case worth? Injury.com by Morgan & Morgan.
Real Radio 104.1.
Filling you in on the shocking details. Just try not to pass out. This is the new.
It's Rate My Weirdest Talent. What do you got? Let us know. Record your dispatch telling us what your weirdest talent is over at thenewsjunkie.com. Winner for the week gets a great prize. Lots going on in the world that we're going to get to. We'll talk about the Lindsay Clancy stuff because more people are kind of melting down. We got the closing arguments there. We got to figure out, like, everybody got to start putting their money where their mouth is here in a way. Is she going to be not guilty by reason of insanity, or is the jury going to find her guilty? Because I think we're going to find out this week. I think we're going to find out. Yeah, and in the Lindsay Clancy case, I think we're going to find out this week.
Closing arguments right now?
Yeah,
like
right
just
now.
Starting?
Yep, yeah, and we'll go through what they're talking about and what's happening and the reaction to all of it and all that crazy stuff as the show rolls on. But will she be found guilty or not guilty by reason of insanity? Remember, she's not saying she didn't do it. It's only
no. She's
on
in fact
TikTok
saying she did it.
Yeah, women on TikTok are saying she didn't do it. It was her evil Gemini husband. I think the Gemini thing triggered me. I think that got to me for some reason, being a Gemini myself. But and just the fact
and also
that
being evil.
And in both of them, it really hits home. Like, I too am an evil Gemini. 0 dead kids on my hands, though. What we're looking at is an interesting moment here. Will it be something where the jury says, nope, you're still responsible for your actions. You should have separated yourself from those children. I find you guilty. Or will be not guilty by reason of insanity. And I'm kind of interested in what you say as an audience, too. So, like, you today can tell me, if you've paid some amount of attention to this, what you think the jury is going to say. And we'll see if you're right on this. So I wanted to put something on the website and the app at some point where we could do polling predictions like this, not for money, like Kalshi and all these other things,
for
but
clout.
Simply for clout.
Yeah.
And so that when you come in with your take, I could say, oh, this person has like a 98% score on predicting the outcomes of things. We should take it a little more seriously.
I am the great predictor.
Yeah, I'll be like, damn, all right, well, let's listen to this person. They know what they're talking about. Or somebody comes in and like, here's what should really happen with this. And I look down and they've got like a 2% prediction rate. You're a dummy. You know what I mean? Like, you're not good at predicting these things. So,
yeah, but you also need to, and you can, this will be a Coderino thing that you can do behind the scenes.
Oh, great. I thought I was done.
The score, you're never done. The score needs to not only reflect your accuracy, but also how much you've tried. Because if you get one thing right, like my soccer record, if you get one thing right and then you never play again, and you always have that 100%, it might not be that trustworthy.
Right. You're still a great soccer player to me, though, just for the record.
Because I've never played again. It's because I have 100 game-winning goal.
So we need to make it so if you predict one thing, you're not just 100 forever. It's got to have the algorithm that we build on this thing has to make it so your score goes up based on how many things you've predicted correctly and et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Yeah, I'll build that. I'll build that so this week before the verdict, we can use this as our first prediction on the show. And it's a way for you to build credibility with us when you're sending over your takes and you're telling us what you feel about the things we're talking about on the show.
Speaking of the things we're talking about, the other top news today, everybody's going nuts over this new shirt of yours in chat.
Oh, yeah. Don't read what's on the shirt.
Loving your new shirt.
Don't. I'm only going to tell you this. If you want to see the shirt,
you come over to youtube.com/thenewsjunkie did it. But I will tell you this. Courtney has explicitly told me you are not allowed to wear this shirt outside of the house.
Is it because of what it says or the color?
Yeah, what it says is the most important thing.
No, because what stuck out to me first, like not just what it says, but that's a new color scheme for you. Like there's something very Bass Pro Shop about that shirt that I normally wouldn't see on you.
I was trying to get ready for you coming back from Nashville. Let me put on a little bit of country in my shirt here. But Courtney, when I bought this, she goes, "Are you seriously going to wear that?" And I said, "It's a stream shirt. I have hundreds and hundreds of T-shirts at this point, and I wear most of them for the stream." But
once in a while, you accidentally wear them in public. You like forget. I don't think Courtney will let you do this one. But what's the one that you get embarrassed about when you realize you're wearing it in public? Like, perhaps to drugs.
Yeah, we were trying to get Courtney's dad to tow her car out of here one time, and he ran into our neighbor's basketball hoop, and I wasn't prepared to interact with the neighbor, and I went over there and I'm knocking on the door. I'm ringing the door. They're eating dinner. And I'm wearing a "Say Perhaps to Drugs" T-shirt at the time. And then afterwards, when we went over to some party, he's like, "Oh, I remember you at my door with that "Say Perhaps to Drugs" shirt on." I was like, "Oh, this guy's strange." This one's way weirder.
You got recognized at the speed bump party?
I did, yeah. Not for the radio thing, more for like, hey, aren't you that guy? But she goes, under no circumstances, Sean, can you wear that incredibly offensive shirt around this neighborhood. I need you to double check after the show, take that off. You can peek in and take a look at it over on youtube.com/thenewsjunkie at some point during the show today. All right, we're going to get all of that worked in and many, many more things. But there was an incident at a WNBA game I want to talk about. I'll put that to the side right now so we can give it a little more time as we get to these emails coming in. tips@thenewsjunkie.com, and Chase emails the show about the State Farm mailbox money we discussed last week. He says, "Hello, junkies. Just wanted to say thank you for covering the State Farm dividend payments. I've been a customer for years, and I'll be getting $300 from them. About time I got a little bit of a kickback. I had no idea about this until you covered the story about people getting free money from State Farm if they were customers last week. And I had to go into my spam folder, and I found the email from State Farm. It was a simple form to fill out, but I just wanted to stress to check your spam folder if you didn't find it in your inbox. Anyway, thanks again for the information and entertainment. Wiggles and Pops," says Chase. Thank you, Chase.
Much like a lot of payments that companies don't necessarily want to give you, this is not something that they've just reached out to you and go, "By the way, you'll be receiving dividend payments that are somehow owed to you or you're eligible for." Maybe we don't want to use the term "owed to you," but eligible for.
You got to put in a little bit of work.
You have to fill out some forms.
Yep. Yeah, I want to make sure you're jumping through a hoop or two to get that State Farm money, but thank you for that. Anonymous emails the show and says, "Anonymous, please. I work at a gas station. I really can't wait to quit. But anyway, today a woman walked up to me at the gas station with a tall White Claw and an empty cup. I asked her if she would like ice in the cup. Nope, she said. Processed the payment, and she immediately opened the White Claw and poured it right in front of my face into the cup and started drinking it. Then she drank the remains in the can and asked me to dispose of the empty White Claw. I didn't know WTF to say or do. I was just bewildered. Who does this kind of thing? We're not in Vegas, bitch." She said, "I'm done with my Orlando trip and I'm heading off to the airport. I was watching her leave and I couldn't tell if she got to the driver's side or the passenger side of the car. Who does this?" I feel like this is a setup. Call me paranoid, but she called me by my name, like she's a regular, and all of this is normal. Anonymous says. I don't know. I don't do that. I know people who do. You know, I know people who take a roadie with them every once in a while, and sort of will explain to you how it's not actually drinking and driving somehow. Or maybe sometimes somebody else is driving and they're in the passenger seat. I know people who will take roadies. C-Lane will take a roadie in the back of an Uber, but that's
once in a while.
That's fair. There's no problem.
However, I don't know what the flex is of like waiting till the moment the credit card transaction is approved, and then opening it in the gas station and drinking it in front of the attendant. I mean, first of all, not for nothing, not legal.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do that.
Usually they have signs at problematic gas stations that are like, hey, drinking or possessing an open container of alcohol within so many feet of this gas station is illegal.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that part. I knew that you couldn't have an open container in certain places, but they'll tell you, like, you can't have it at the gas station when you buy it open?
Right. They just don't want you buying it and drinking it there. They're a convenience store, not a bar.
Right. Yeah. They want you like leaning against the side of the place.
Sure.
Your foot kicked against the side of the 7-Eleven or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Folks, react to that if you've seen this before, or if you are, in fact, that lady that Anonymous is talking about. And James from Waco, Texas emails the show, tips@thenewsjunkie.com. I want to start by saying I don't support the flock cameras, same as most others. I do see where they can be beneficial, but they definitely need guardrails. I believe it should take a warrant to access the data from the camera for non-emergency situations. That's what C-Lane said last week, which I think was a good idea. I think that's where we need to take this.
Still don't know why he sounds so surprised, but that's cool.
Or an officer has to request from a superior who then receives a password from Flock itself. In instances where immediate access is required, such as kidnapping or death, it can only be accessed by the superior. There isn't that many emergencies, so the use would be limited. Then monthly, an outside government agency can review and see what actions actually came from.
Wait, is that fact correct? There isn't that many emergencies?
Nah, ask any 911 operator.
How many do
it's like 0 of them. How many emergencies you even see?
Pretty easy job. We mostly just play solitaire a lot.
Yeah, solitaire. Is that when you cry when you're...
Solitaire.
Solitaire.
Solitaire?
This guy...
Solitaire.
It's all right. I'll ignore that. The technology's already
they
available.
Call it solitary confinement.
It's
where you cry alone.
If you do, you're probably going to have a worse time in prison. I think it's not going to go well for you. The technology's already available and released. It's never going away. Even if they did away with the cameras, it would just be some other hidden device that's unknown to the public. I just wanted to put my thoughts out there. Love the show. And this all blows my mind that Jackson is in school now. It feels like a year ago we were hearing about him being born. James from Waco, Texas. Thank you, James. Let's get to this clip now while we're talking about the Flock thing. I guess the Flock CEO was on Fox News, and he's kind of trying to defend his company amid all the Flock drama.
And this is the same guy who previously, last time we heard from him, was saying that the website DFlock that shows everybody where the Flock cameras are and offers them routes to take to and from their home that would avoid the Flock cameras, previously said that website is a terrorist organization.
Yeah, he said they were terrorists and was it anarchists or something? Antifa terrorists is what he called people who were trying to avoid the Flock camera. So here he is. Here's the Flock CEO.
I value my privacy. My family values their privacy. My employees value their privacy. But what we're talking about is safety as well. And so I think when people talk about just one of these, privacy or safety, they're prioritizing the wrong thing. And what we have to prioritize as a country is compromise. How do we have our safety and how do we balance privacy? And so when I think about legislation that calls for an outright ban, that's like banning vehicles. That would never have made sense. Instead, what we did is we introduced laws against drunk driving. We introduced laws around seatbelts.
Hold on. He said banning Flock cameras, which is what there's some politicians discussing, would be the equivalent of banning cars?
All right.
That's where he's at?
I don't know what this guy's PR team consists of, what it looks like, or how much they're being paid. I know what I know what he's doing. He's trying to make you think about Flock cameras as something that was an everyday thing that was dangerous or controversial, but that we're dealing with, we're living with for the better. And I get what he means, but he already has such a bad score with anybody who's watching this.
Yeah,
because of the fact that they don't want to be surveilled like this. That almost any analogy he comes up with is going to sound stupid. It's not like banning cars. It's not. But
also, is it any points against him? Because Meep says it over in TNJ chat. Who is this child in favor of a surveillance state? Because the CEO of Flock does look like a young boy. He looks like a little choir boy or something. Yeah,
a little bit. And again, that's something where, like, sure, that's what he looks like. That's his face. but there would be somebody on your team going, hey, listen, you're going to be a little bit crucified for some of the things that you say here. Maybe we need to dress you a little older. Maybe we need to make you exude the appearance of somebody who's who's been through a lot more.
Yeah, here's the other comment that Sealand was talking about, just so you don't think he's making it up.
You've got organizations like the ACLU and the EFF who take an above-board approach to fight for their point of view.
The
And
CEO of
thankfully,
Flock.
we live in a beautifully democratic, capitalistic country where we can fight in court. And I have a lot of respect for those groups because they have reasonable debates and we follow the law. And then, unfortunately, there's terroristic organizations like DFLOC, whose primary motivation is chaos.
Okay, just so you know, DFLOC is the organization highlighting where all the Flock cameras are. He called them a terroristic organization.
Whose primary motive is chaos.
Is chaos. So, like, this is really quite a take.
They are closer to Antifa than they are anything else. And that, I think, is unfortunate because we don't want chaos, or I don't want chaos. I like law and order. I like a society that has a bedrock of safety. So for those groups, I think it's just disappointing that they haven't chosen a more constructive mannerism to try to get what they want, which they have a right to have.
You know, if I was the reporter at this phase of a conversation like this, where he's like, look, I just want security and law and order, and here's what I'm actually interested in. I go, all right, well, then you would probably be all for making Flock, which I'm assuming Flock is a private company, right? I'm assuming.
I would believe.
I believe they are. Like, if not, like, let's make them. If that's how you really believe about these cameras, despite the controversy, then you would be up for turning this into a non-profit organization with some sort of big board that can govern all the decisions that a company like this makes, since it has such an impact on a lot of people's lives who didn't do anything wrong at all, right? Like, so then you would be willing to take all the profit motives out of this if that's how you actually feel, if that's your biggest concern in this case. I mean, I don't think that's the case. I think you saw a lot of money in law enforcement. Why? Because they juice us, baby. I don't want to defund the cops, but I think they're pretty well funded. You know what I mean? I think they get a lot of money. And then when people see that, they go, we can build a lot of businesses around this. Flock is one of them. That's what's happening, right? Okay, we want to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll hear from you. Send us your dispatches over at thenewsjunkie.com. We'll get into this person kicked out of the WNBA game in a bit. We got Amy Caulfield on the way. It's all coming up next on the News Junkie.
Coming up tonight on Real Radio at 7, it's a corporate time with Tom and Dan. Brought to you by MyEternalVitality.com and Modern Plumbing Industries. At 9 p.m., it's Real Laughs with comedians James McGill and Ken. And Real Music starts tonight at 10 on Real Radio 104.1.
This weather report is brought to you by Mills Air.
Happy Monday, Central Florida. I'm Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Jessica Dobson with a check of your forecast. And for today, we are going to be expecting another hot and humid day. Planned for highs to reach the mid-90s with a high of around 94 today in Orlando. We'll also be dodging some hit-and-miss showers and storms.
Hello. Welcome behind the scenes, everybody. Flock on or flock off? What do you think about the CEO of Flock? What do you think? Flock on or flock off? I think this is starting to sound like something that the government should be in charge of. And I very rarely say that. I think this is starting to look like something that would be better with some sort of nonpartisan board overseeing the development of this, rather than a private company having this treasure trove of data from innocent Americans and getting to make crucial decisions about something that he just flippantly tosses out like, we have to juxtapose our privacy concerns with safety. Privacy versus safety. And he just tosses that out. Just tosses it out there. Flock on or flock off? Let's see what we got for you. Speaking of, we'll stay on the security and AI front for just a moment. That video was from 5 months ago. The Fox News video is from this weekend. It was from this weekend. The other video was recent. I don't know if it was 5 months old. I don't know if it was quite 5 months old. Maybe it was. But that was the one that we played because they were responding to the D-Flock website, which listed all of the Flock cameras. A crazy-ass story in the New York Times this weekend. And just stick with me for a second here, because there's some big questions. This says, from the New York Times, the young woman ran for her life, but it was too late. A small Russian drone resembling a model airplane swooped down from the sky last month in the city of Zaporizhia in Ukraine. As it tried to navigate toward a gas station, it crashed into a wall and exploded in a hail of shrapnel, killing Tetiana Bubinets, 19, a university student, and 2 others. They were among the thousands of Ukrainian civilians who have died in Russian airstrikes. But the circumstances of their deaths came with an ominous twist. Here you go. The drone that killed this woman and the people who were with her was guided by an artificial intelligence system, not a human pilot. In fact, this was the first case in recorded history where an AI-powered weaponized drone made an AI-based decision and fatally impacted not 1, but I think 3 people in this case. Think about that for a moment. We're not just changing warfare in 2026. No longer are we doing the guerrilla terrorist warfare in cities. No longer are we operating like that. We're now, as we see with Russia and Ukraine, using drones to fight each other. So it's drone war now. It's drone warfare. And now the drones, at least in this case, were powered solely by artificial intelligence. And the thing that made the decision to kill these human beings was the AI itself. All they did was say, we want this drone to go near this gas station. The AI followed that instruction, brought the drone to the gas station, and then the AI made the decision to kill these human beings. Think about that for a second. Think about that. Think about what that means. And imagine this on a grand scale, because that's where we're going. We'll talk about those robots in the race and the games and all the footage of that in a bit. Think about that. Think about those robots. Think about these drones. Think about the fact that this was AI-powered, no human intervention, and an AI-powered drone made the decision to kill actual human beings. That's crazy, but it's very real. I ask you, is it wrong? Yes or no? The height of moral war was when men faced off with other men with swords. And you all put your lives on the line and went at it at the end of a sword. And then we got further and further away from actual warfare. And now artificial intelligence is deciding to kill people in a whole different country. It's crazy. Crazy. Coming back right now.
And happy 50th.
Summer means a whole lot of extra miles. Last place you want your engine to give out is halfway to nowhere. That's why every oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change includes an 18-point maintenance check.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
Change wisely.
Car crash? Call Clausman. ClausmanLaw.com. That's KLAUSMAN.
Join in on the chaos. We eagerly await your dispatch. This
WNBA ejection story. I promise you we will. We're going to be talking to our friend Amy Kaufel in a moment or two. While I have just a moment here, I was talking during the break about there's an article, Celia, in this weekend. There was an article in the New York Times, and they said for the first time,
a drone was launched, because that's what war is in 2026. It's drones now. And like Ukraine and Russia, you could see.
I've been doing that for a little while, though, with the drones, right?
Yeah, but now it's just drones, kamikaze drones, and I've seen some really like fundamentally interesting moral questions surrounding this. Like, for instance, if there's a war going on and you have two forces fighting each other, and on the battlefield, Force A corners Force B, and one of the members of Force B throws up their hands, maybe the white flag or whatever, and they go, I surrender, right? What should happen? What's the morally right thing? And just international law, which isn't much of a thing, but just by the rules and the moral decisions that we make, generally speaking, what happens when somebody goes, I surrender, wave the white flag?
Force B surrenders, Force A should lower their artillery and stop killing them.
Yes, right. That's how we've done this for hundreds of years, literally hundreds of years. If somebody gives up and surrenders, the war stops. Now, in this age of drones, I have literally seen videos where a Russian drone or Ukrainian drone will find somebody, and you can see from the drone's camera, and the person is out in a field, and they've got like their gun by them and stuff, and the drone finds this soldier and goes up to them, and the soldier throws their gun and throws their hands up in the air and says, I surrender. And you know what the drone does? The drone blasts them out of existence, right? What is it the same if you're surrendering to a drone?
I mean, it should be. Most of these drones are controlled by people.
Yeah, but they're so far away from where the drone is.
Sure.
That you're surrendering, and it doesn't matter. You used to surrender, you take the person in, maybe you try to trade them for something, all those other things that you do. But now I've seen people surrender to drones and just get blasted. You're like, you think you can surrender to a drone? No. And then the New York Times article that I was mentioning said for the first time in the past couple of weeks here, one of these drones that was going between Russia and Ukraine was fully outfitted with AI. And the only thing that humans did was told it to go to this gas station. Then there was this young woman who was like an innocent person wandering around this gas station with these other two people. And when the drone got there, it was operating solely on artificial intelligence. And the artificial intelligence, the AI, made the decision to dive bomb into the gas station and kill these three people that were totally innocent civilians who had nothing to do with anything. And then you have to ask yourself another big giant question. Beyond can you surrender to a drone and what happens if somebody does, you have to ask yourself, when we have an AI-assisted drone that flies to this location and then makes an AI-based decision, no human did it, no human, a computer, a piece of software, ran the numbers, went brrr, and said, killed a lady and killed this woman. And I don't know if people recognize that this is going on, but that's where we're at right now.
Wouldn't it be operating based on some mission parameters that, if they had a human piloting something, they might have told him the same thing? Or are we saying that this was like completely...
it was totally autonomous. It was an NVIDIA chip running this thing. And you can read the story.
Fired NVIDIA.
Yeah, you can read the story. It's called "A Drone Killed 3 Ukrainians." It was guided entirely by AI, and it's super interesting. It says the drone was programmed by human operators to travel toward a particular gas station, but once it got close, it chose its exact target, most likely propane tanks, on its own, based on its training to recognize such tanks and strike them. It's a development long watched for in the war in Ukraine, presaging a dystopian future in which killer robots roam the skies, making life or death decisions that reduce targets to data points. That's what's literally happening here. An AI decided to go after the gas station, hit these tanks, and killed these people. And let's juxtapose that with one of the most emailed to me stories of the weekend to tipsathenewsjunkie.com. At the World Humanoid Robot Games in Beijing this weekend, you had a robot, an actual robot, a humanoid robot, beat Usain Bolt's 100-meter world record. The robots are faster than us. The battlefield is going to be robots, drones, AI.
Right. We're going to be Star Wars in no time.
We are Star Wars, and baby. Here they are. There you go, the hauling ass. All right, now, my favorite part of this is not only are these robots going so fast that they've beat the fastest man in the world already. We're already past that. The AI is smarter than you. It is faster than you. It is more accurate with weapons than you are. It does not have to make the decisions that you make, or no emotions or morals will slow down this thing. This is what we're looking at here, okay? Right now, the best part is at the end of the race, they just plow into this.
Oh, that one slid like a baseball player.
Yeah, they had to put up a big wall because the robots have not learned to stop after the race yet. They have to run into a thing.
I'm sorry. No. If you haven't programmed your robot to be able to stop, why is it in the race in the first place? That should be part of the criteria for being allowed to participate in and subsequently win this race.
You see this? This is where we're at. The World Robot Games. This robot jumped so high. I'll put this up on See It Now because the video is unbelievable. Everybody keeps sending me this. The robots are jumping higher. They're boxing now, like Rock'em Sock'em. They're putting them in the ring and they're boxing each other.
Like Rock'em Sock'em what?
Yeah, spinning jump kick. Like, this is unbelievable. This is the day and age that we're living in. And nobody seems scared enough. I'm like the only one who's like, guys, I don't know. I think there might be some problems with the drones and the AI and the militarization of robots and the robots getting faster than us. And, oh, boy, it's something to behold. I'll put this up because the whole video is absolutely worth a watch. I'm going to put it up on See It Now over on thenewsjunkie.com. We're going to take a quick break. We're back with our friend Amy Kaufeld. We'll chat with her about everything going on in the headlines and all the stuff that you've been talking about this weekend. Plus, we'll just, do our thing with Amy. After that, I'll get to the WNBA story with a former NBA player getting kicked out of the WNBA game and a whole lot more. Lindsay, Clancy, all the drama, everything on the way. And it's coming up next on the News Junkie.
The Coke Zero Sugar 400 returns to the World Center of Racing with the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series on August 28th and the Coke Zero Sugar 400 on August 29th. Experience the thrill of NASCAR like never before. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Stand by, folks. Let me post this on See It Now real quick. Robots are now faster, stronger, and more intelligent. Hold on, robots. Beat.
This report is sponsored by the Blizzard Double. Hello. Hi. I'm good. How are you doing? Good. Good to see you, buddy. Actually, I can't see you. But I will see you. Will. Can you give me like a sentence or two on your microphone, like a fuller voice? Yeah, how's it sound? Does it sound overmodulated?
It doesn't right now, Amy, but it doesn't right now, but sometimes it does when we start the segment for some reason. Okay. Yeah, and I can't hear it now, but sometimes I would hear, it seems like the gate isn't high enough, like there would be a little background noise. Because I feel like the setup you have could be like silky. Like it could be like absolutely perfect. So we're like almost there. It's like the gate is a little bit too low, and so it's like giving away the room audio a little. Otherwise, sounds perfect. Sorry, folks. Thank you, Amy. All right. We're back, everybody, in just a moment with the great Amy Kaufeld. Let's hear it for Amy Kaufeld, everybody. Let's hear it for the lovely Amy Kaufeld. Ain't nobody better. A-Ray, thank you for the 9 months. 9 months, A-Ray. I feel like we've come a long way in that period of time. I feel like our relationship has blossomed, A-Ray. And I'm just happy that you could be there. Amy could never be replaced by a robot. True. Very, very true. Oh, I had a question for Amy about her daughter. Courtney. Damn it, she's not here. What was my question for Amy? Shoot! Hold on. What was I going to ask Amy Caulfield? Amy K. Oh, Courtney will remember. She's got a better memory than me. Something about her daughter. We'll get to it, though. Do the robots know how to charge themselves? My big fear is the breakthrough. Probably going to be related to solar technology, where we start putting like solar panels that get smaller and smaller and more effective into the robots so that they don't need to have a continuous charge from some device. They can simply just be powered in sunlight, and then they can use their intellect to keep themselves in the sunlight as much as they need to obtain a charge. Then you have these autonomous roving gangs of robots powered by the sun. We can't cut them off. They're stronger than us. They're faster than us. They're going to take over. It's kind of obvious at this point, isn't it? Or maybe that's just me. Console Bob says, I like Amy too. Who doesn't like Amy? She's amazing. All right, we're coming back.
At chemzios.com or call 1-855-CHEMZIOS. Actor Portrayal.
Do you have AC needs? Turn to the experts at Carrier. Go to millsair.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Live from the JustCallMo.com studios. Got a question after an accident? Just call Mo. Visit JustCallMo.com or dial 1-800-CALL-MO. This is WTKS-FM HD1 Cocoa Beach, Orlando. An iHeart radio station. Guaranteed human. If you're not confused, you are not paying attention. This is the...
We love you. We appreciate you. Thanks for all the support. Learn more
over on the website, which is at thenewsjunkie.com. And now, without any further ado, because we love to get into this segment whenever we have the opportunity, let's welcome the amazing, the skilled, the talented, the unbeatable, the lovable Amy Caulfield from Fox 35, everybody.
Hey, you guys.
There she
How's
is.
it going?
Good.
Did you have a good weekend?
Doing? Yes. How was your weekend, Amy K?
I was a little sad.
No?
So we went to Pennsylvania this weekend to drop off Caroline at college. So it was hard. It's just hard to say goodbye to them. And it's only going to be a month. We'll see her at Parents Weekend, which is like a month from now. But I don't know. I just miss them when they're gone.
Yeah? Oh, God. How many you got off to college now?
We're at the stage of life.
What is this? Is this 2 off to college right now?
Yeah, 2. So Kate, our oldest, is a senior at Florida State. They start classes today. And then Caroline's a sophomore going to school in Pennsylvania. And she also starts classes today. And UCF starts classes today. Valencia.
Oh, my God.
Seminole State, a bunch of them. So today's like a big first day.
You know what I saw, and I was wondering about this. Seelan, when I was looking through Amy K's Instagram photos, which I do like a creepy stalker man. Whenever she posts, I'm like, what's Amy K up to? And I look at all the photos. And when I was looking at the photos from this weekend, I go, oh, there's her daughter in her daughter's dorm room. And it looked like the whole dorm room was decorated. I was like, did Amy K hire that viral dorm room makeover lady?
Oh, that lady was the worst.
$40,000. Is this a thing now?
Crazy?
Yeah.
No, it's insane. And there are some people who genuinely spend like outrageous amounts of money. No, honestly, she's using the same comforter from last year. I did buy her like she needed new things, like any college kid does. You know, some stuff just gets worn out. Some new set of towels, new stuff like that. But no, like she's basically repurposing all decorations from last year, and there's no fancy wallpaper. There's none of that. I did buy her some little like cute lamps from Walmart, and that was probably our biggest expense.
Amy, we interviewed the viral lady that was charging so much, and she was very dodgy about price. She did not want to talk about exact figures or numbers, and her face made a puss. It made a turn that I even suggested that she would buy anything from IKEA. The word IKEA came out of my mouth, and she no.
She gave you that.
I would never.
It's so expensive. The whole thing's so expensive. All the college is so expensive.
It's great. You're in the room for 9 months, so it doesn't make any sense. But I think back, like, okay, now granted, I was in college in the early 90s, and so my mom bought me a bed in a bag, which was, I still remember, it was like forest green. It was really ugly. And then I had like a poster on the wall. I'm trying to remember.
Oh, it was a poster of?
John Bon Jovi.
You love that Bon Jovi. Here we go again. Yes. You'll remember last week on the show, Amy Kay almost got a Bon Jovi tattoo, or would have.
That's right, almost. Yeah. I would have. It would. Yeah. The slippery one went.
I saw,
but I didn't get it.
I saw Bon Jovi's bar over the weekend.
Oh. You did?
I was in Nashville. I was like, oh, Bon Jovi still has a bar here? That's kind of impressive.
You went to Nashville this weekend?
Yeah, I just spent a couple nights there to celebrate my wife's birthday.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to Ash. That's awesome.
It was a good time.
What was your favorite bar? I haven't been there in years, so I want to go back.
I don't know. Like, I think we went to Stage a couple times. A lot of them kind of mesh together because it's all bands playing pretty similar music, but I love
live performances.
It's great stuff. We realized that somewhere around midnight, the mashups come out. They're all doing they start one song and then it's mashup after mashup. But Robert's Western World, that has the Recession special, is still, I think, probably one of my favorites to go to. We had like a chill kind of Sunday there before we had to get on the plane, and it was like it was kind of like more honky tonk music, more chill stuff. It was very great.
Wow, it's very nice of you to brag about how great your weekend was when Amy had a very sad, upsetting weekend of sending her kids back to college.
I was also away from my kid, which was sad. I was very sad the whole time. Super sad. Yeah. Cry. He wasn't sad.
Who watches Jackson when you guys are out of town?
No one. They leave him in a room.
This time it was my mother.
Courtney.
No, they just shut him in a room and they put a box of cereal out there and good luck, buddy. See you later.
Here's your cereal. Here's the
left him at
tablet.
Uncle Sean's house.
Right.
Here's the thing. Right now, C-Lane just dropped Jackson off to, this is his second week at like a daycare that he's going
preschool.
To. Like preschool, yeah. And Jackson is already like beating up kids. He's got a tattoo. Yeah.
Stop it.
He's too big. When he walked in, they thought he was the father. They thought he was one of the fathers, actually.
The father.
Like, I don't know if this kid, I don't know who we got here. So I saw that you did that this weekend. Anything else?
Yeah, it was fun.
Did you watch any of the football?
No, I didn't tell you guys this story, and I just want to give a shout out to this Allegiant Gate agent. Her name was Patty. So I get to the airport on Friday morning, and I had just put in my phone like that the flight was at 8:45. Okay, so I was just like, okay, that's what I put in my phone. It must be accurate. You guys, we get to the airport. It was like, I don't know, like we got there at like 7.
Yeah.
Thinking, okay, this will be plenty of time. No, I take that back. We got there at 7. Like, what time did we get there? It was like an hour before the flight was supposed to leave.
That's cutting it close.
Standard, hour, right? And we were in Sanford because Sanford's a smaller airport, so it's not as, you know what I mean? It's not like going to MCO. So we get there, and so the gate agent, Patty, she says, "Your flight just left." And I said, "No, my flight's at 8:45." And she goes, "No, your flight was at 7:45." So we had full on panic. This woman, God bless her, she was amazing. She is like, let me see if I can get you close. So we were flying into Harrisburg, which you guys know, these are like small. These aren't like.
That's a small airport.
Right. Yeah, so we were flying into Harrisburg. So she's like, I can get you into Allentown. And she said, Allentown is about an hour and a half away. And I'm thinking, okay, great. But our rental car's in Harrisburg. How are we going to get from Allentown to Harrisburg? So
who was first to sing the song?
Oh, Allentown?
Yeah. Who was it?
Isn't that a Billy Joel song?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
It was a dramatic moment, C-Lane. Nobody was singing a song, for God's sake.
Billy Joel.
That they recognized.
That was a really nice airport, actually.
They recognized who Amy Caulfield was, and they were like, I know you missed your flight, but you're a heavy hitter.
Genuinely just being nice to us. Okay, so then she tells me, I kid you not, you guys, she said, okay, there's going to be a cost to change the tickets.
Okay.
And she says the cost is going to be it was like $360 a person. Well, there's 3 of us.
Yeah.
So it was going to cost like $1,000 just to change the tickets because we screwed up. It was our fault, right?
Mm-hmm.
She says, I'm going to make a call. She said, they're probably going to say no, but I'm just going to call and see if there's something that they can do. So she makes a call to whoever, I don't know who it was, somebody at Allegiant. And the person who answered was like, yeah, that's fine. I understand. We'll just do it like an even exchange, basically. So we ended up flying into Allentown, and then we had to take a $300 Uber, which didn't seem so bad.
$300?
We could have had to potentially pay $1,000 to change the flight to Allentown. We had to pay a $300 Uber to get us from Allentown to Harrisburg.
How long was this
so that
Uber?
Was how the day started on Friday.
How long was the Uber ride?
Like an hour and a half.
Did you have like a weird, stinky Uber driver, or was it?
No, he was really nice.
Okay,
His name was Jose.
good.
He was very kind.
Good. Because you like sometimes you get some of them Uber drivers, and like, oh God, here we go.
He was great.
What do you say if you're in the back of their car and the Uber driver says to you, Amy Caulfield gets in the back seat, and then the Uber driver goes, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" Do you say that you do TV news, or do you avoid it because you know that you're going to get a lot of like questions about it that you don't want to deal with?
I think it depends how long the ride is. If it's a short ride, sure, yeah, it's fine because it's going to be a quick conversation. But no, he did not ask. He was actually very sweet. Because it's an hour and a half. I'm like, God bless him, but he doesn't want to talk to us for an hour and a half, right? And so there was like very light.
Some of them do. Some of them do.
Yeah, he's right.
Oh,
every once in a while. I've told this story about when I went to New Orleans one time, Amy, and the guy goes, "What do you do?" And I was like, "A radio show." And then I told him basically it's just a talk radio show. And the guy goes, "Oh man, I do a podcast in my Uber." And he gets out his phone and he starts recording, and he's like, he didn't say anything to me. He didn't say anything. He's like, welcome to the Uber podcast number 14. We got, what's your name again, pal? And I'm like, Sean. And he's like, Sean, radio guys with us. And we're doing an Uber podcast. And then he has me call his son. Yeah, he's like, my son, you got to talk to my son. And then I call his son, and he kept calling his son because he didn't answer. And his son came out of the movie theater because he was watching a movie and he thought there was an emergency. And his dad's like, tell him that radio is a good thing to be into. Oh my God!
You should have made it really uncomfortable and said, "No, sir. Actually, I can't participate because it would be my contract forbids me from recording podcasts with anybody who's not part of our company's ecosystem. I know it's a really bureaucratic thing, but I can't do your podcast."
I want to tell him when they ask me. I always want to tell them that I do such a horrific job that they don't want to ask me any more questions. Like, what do you do for a living, mister? And I'll be like, I work at a veterinary clinic, and I am the one in charge of putting down all the cats. That's my full gig. That's what I do. I'm the cat putter downer, baby.
I thought of 4 worse things that I would not repeat.
You work at a funeral home. Yeah, I still feel like people would ask a lot of questions.
No, funeral home's not bad enough.
Have like a weird fascination with
it has to be something really murky and bad where nobody wants to know any other things. What do? I put down all the cats. That's what I do. And they go, terrible. Let's talk about what else is going on. Speaking of that.
Way to bring us down, Sean.
I'm not bringing us down. I'm bringing us right back up. Wait, hold on. It depends on what your first story is here. What's happening out there in our world?
Okay, so this is a wild story. So remember how last time we talked about these flock cameras and how they're pretty controversial?
Mm-hmm.
So Oviedo police were having issues with somebody who was cutting down the flock cameras, with garden shears or like a machete. They were just somehow cutting down the cameras, which is
garden shears would be a thing.
Guys,
I hate these things so much.
They would have so much more of a problem if you could actually cut them down.
Hold on. It really was with some kind of garden tool, though. Now I got to go back and look and see what it was. But anyway, so in order to catch the person who was doing it, pruning shears. I knew it was a garden tool. Pruning shears. So in order to catch the guy that was doing it, they put up a fake camera that they printed with a 3D printer. Okay.
No.
And then they set out. They literally set out surveillance. So they're out there okay, let's see what happens. Well, sure enough, this guy walks over to the fake flock camera that they made with the 3D printer, and he uses pruning shears to cut down the camera.
Wow.
And so they swoop in and they arrest the guy. So anyway, it's a little bit controversial, Oviedo, because the mayor is saying, well, we didn't know they were doing this, like setting up like this, this like detail to try to catch this person. And the police are like, well, we don't really usually like I guess tell the mayor that we're doing this. We're just doing our police
I don't know that I've ever heard of them going so far to 3D print a fake camera and make a fake vlog camera.
It happened so much, Sean,
Wow.
because they had this person had cut down, and we don't know if it's the same guy, but assuming it is, that if it is, that they've been doing the same thing. I mean, it's pretty expensive, right? It's like, imagine you having to keep replacing these things over and over and over again.
I'm super curious if they designed their own plans for the 3D printed fake camera, or if they downloaded them off the internet. Because I saw, this is not a joke, I saw a post, and once I explain it, you'll be able to read between the lines. I saw a post either last night or this morning where somebody goes, "Here is our size accurate 3D printed fake flock camera. Here we go. Putting all the parts together. They put it together and it looks like a flock camera." And they go, "Here is our 3D printed plans for a cover for your fake flock camera." And so what basically saying, hey, you should print out these covers that are for your fake flock cameras, and people could just use those tools to put them on the real ones.
Yeah, the people are going nuts about these things, man. And some of it is crazy town. It's kind of like the data centers. Like the core of the issue is an interesting conversation about privacy and security. But then people get so whipped up that they're like, I don't want any cameras on me ever. Turn off your doorbell camera. And you're like, oh, okay, I don't know.
Yeah. No, you're right. And it's funny you bring that up about the data center. We had a guy, tech expert, who came in a couple of weeks ago, and he talked about how a lot of the stuff that people are concerned about with these data centers is actually just a myth. It's not, the people are like, oh, it's going to suck up all the electricity and all the water and blah, blah, blah. And he said, actually, it's not, because there's nobody working inside of it. So yes, there's a lot of, he said it would just use electricity like any other building. And then you're not using up a bunch of water, because he was like, there's nobody's in there. Like,
I think I figured it out. I think I've solved this. I saw a couple of articles on this weekend. And I saw a few takes, and I was like, I think the smartest idea that I've seen floated around is if we take all the data centers and put them in Alaska, then Alaska will have the data centers. It's colder there. I think that might help in some way. They can get plenty of water. There's snow everywhere. You melt that and you get the water for your data center or whatever. Then you get like some jobs there for the Alaskans. And then all the annoying stuff, Alaska can deal with that, and nobody else has to deal with it. I think
there's a lot of land in Alaska.
I know, it's nothing but land. Yeah, it's like you could say we're going to put a data center in this place and throw a dart, and there won't even be anybody close enough to complain about it.
Nobody close by.
No, let's put them all out there.
I mean, I love Alaska. I wouldn't want to, blot it up too much with a bunch of data centers.
Amy, we have to put it somewhere.
Distribute them.
We have to put it somewhere. Well, I know.
You have to evenly distribute.
When your place has more, when there's more icebergs than human beings in your state, you got to shoulder the burden in some way. We're floating.
I read an article the other day that China is putting their data centers underwater, like in the ocean, on the bottom of the ocean floor.
Where did you read this?
I read that. Is that true? Google it. I don't know if it's true.
What website were you on?
Off false information.
No, I believe it.
I did read that.
Okay,
hold
on.
Some newspaper called Theonian.
The Onion. Okay, it's China data center underwater. All right, there's no way. Whoa. Okay, China operates the world's first commercial wind-powered underwater data center. A wind-powered underwater data center?
24-megawatt facility
that
uses sealed submarine capsules cooled by natural seawater and cuts energy consumption by over 20%. See?
She's right, folks. Look, this is it. China opens world's first wind-powered underwater data center. It's a true story. Amy Kauffeld's ahead of the curve, all right? Don't call her out for fake news.
Thank you.
Anything else out there?
You just did?
Shut up. Move past it. Anything else grabbing your attention out there?
You guys were covering this wild stalking story. I don't know if you've seen this one, but this is a 27-year-old guy who met this 16-year-old girl on Snapchat. He lives in Lakeland. She lives in Volusia County. And you guys, pretty scary details on this one. Like, in fact, he went to her house twice and was like firing off a gun outside the home. He was arrested, and then he ended up getting back out, and then ended up having to turn himself in again.
Have you seen
anyway,
this
just
guy's?
word to the wise.
Have you seen this guy's full name, Sean?
Joseph Woodward?
Joseph William Danger Woodard.
Oh, my God. Danger is his middle name.
Is that accurate?
Well,
Okay.
see, like, if she gets you on fake news right now,
I'm going to look.
she wins.
We only have Joseph Woodard on our website.
Yeah,
I'm gonna find out.
I'm looking at Fox35Orlando.com, which I know is a trustworthy site.
Amy, if it's not accurate, I'll tell you what other local news station has already reported it, and then you can shame them.
No, there are no other local news stations worth even admitting. This guy's creepy looking. I'm looking at him here. All right, so James Danger Woodward, 27, is accused of stalking this 16-year-old girl, and he met her on Snapchat, which, man, seems like a lot of bad stuff starts on that Snapchat.
I just found it. That's actually on the Volusia County Sheriff's website.
Okay.
The danger part.
All right.
Joseph William Danger Woodard.
No, I mean, you know, if you really want to be accurate, Fox35Orlando.com should probably update this story.
All right, calm down.
I'm just saying.
No, it is scary. He's charged with stalking, armed trespassing, discharge of a firearm from a vehicle, discharge of a firearm from residential property, and resisting arrest. So
what do you
scary stuff?
When you see so many stories like this about Snapchat, some of these other social media platforms?
Yeah,
boy, I guess we're just talking about your daughter's going off to college and everything. It's kind of beyond your control at this point, right? Like it's hard to be.
It is. And they're adults. I mean, one of them is 21, the other one's 19, and they're beyond the point where I can give advice, as you guys know.
Yeah.
Now Colton, on the other hand, he's still 15, so he's sick of my advice.
Yeah.
But the older ones, once they're adults, there's only so much you can do.
I know.
Of course, I do pay the cell phone bill still, so.
Right, so you got a couple hooks in there, right? Yeah. You say plus that we can make your dorm room turn back into a really crappy little place real quick.
Make it really wretched.
Yeah. Well,
bring back the milk crates.
We love you. We appreciate you.
Oh, I love you guys too.
We're so glad that your Uber ride was an enjoyable experience.
Hour and a half. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's
the longest. I hope I never have to take an Uber ride that long ever again.
Yeah.
But it's totally our.
Why were you an hour late? What happened? Was your phone on the wrong time?
We should have double checked. I just, for whatever reason, that's the time that I put in my phone, and then I just believed it. And it was just a busy day the day before, and nobody bothered to double check. So it was
okay. But it was was it you or your husband? Were you blaming each other? Was there one?
Yeah, well, a little bit. I was like, but we both. It was equal shared blame because I think I was the one who put it in the phone wrong, but also why didn't you check the email? You're the one that booked it. Right?
True.
So,
yeah. Right.
So we equally shared the blame.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Amy Caulfield. Ain't nobody better. She's the best of the best. Follow her on all social media platforms. Search for Amy Caulfield, and you will find her. And also Fox 35 Orlando. That's for those of you here locally. I know there's people listening to us all over the place. But it doesn't matter where you're from. It's a great website. I use it in my show prep every single morning because they are so good about this stuff at staying on top of the stories that do matter. And the cornerstone of all of that is the entire crew over there at Good Day Orlando. So a big thanks, Amy, from everybody. I see him already in chat. There you go. Thanks, Amy.
See you next week.
There she goes. The lovely and talented Amy Caulfield. And Fox35Orlando.com. All right, quick break. When we come back, we'll get into that WNBA story if we can work that in. We got the hot sheet on the way. I've got some amazing clips to play for you. We got an ad that is causing people to lose their minds and so much more. And it's all coming up next on the News Junkie.
Real Radio is on Instagram at Real Radio 1041. Sponsored by the law offices of Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Still looking at heavy stop-and-go delays this morning westbound on I-4 due to a crash still blocking the right lane at the World Drive exit, causing heavy stop-and-go traffic from the Greenway. Things are still...
Hello? Oh, is it really? Oh, I'll ask you something after your live read. WNBA drama coming up in a moment. Somebody getting kicked out of the WNBA game. I'll tell you what's happening. I'll bring you behind the scenes. Let's see what I got for you. Break takes. Here's one, a little bit of controversy here. The father of a sailor aboard that USS Abraham Lincoln, which is in the Middle East by Iran right now. It's the ship that's had a couple of issues. I think some power issues and some other things. The father of a sailor aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln was detained by ICE and is being deported. The immigrant father of a sailor on board the beleaguered USS Abraham Lincoln was detained Saturday by immigration officials. Luis Aviles, originally from Nicaragua, was detained after 11 a.m. in Key West, Florida, where he lives, his stepdaughter said. She says he's been in the United States of America for roughly 20 years, and she has no knowledge of an arrest or criminal allegations against him. He's doing everything the right way. The Department of Homeland Security confirmed Sunday the Border Patrol arrested him during a traffic stop in Key West. They said he entered the U.S. illegally at an unknown date and would remain in ICE custody pending removal proceedings. We are simply enforcing the laws passed by Congress. The administration does not pick and choose which laws to enforce. When told that he was the father of a sailor on the USS Abraham Lincoln, they said, we do not pick and choose who we are deporting based on status in the military. Do you think, chat, that we should, let's forget the fact that he's been here for 20 years and probably doesn't have a setup in Nicaragua to go back to begin with. That's a whole different issue. But do you think we should be deporting the fathers of active military members? Yes or no? A no means you don't think that should matter. Or you don't think it should factor in. If they're illegal, they're illegal. Adios, muchacho. Right? But when I look at this, I'm like, people who recently entered into our country illegal, get out of here. Gone. People who hate America, who are illegals in this country trying to cause issues within the American fabric, out of here. Send them back. Don't care where they're going. Africa, wherever, send them back. See you later. Sayonara, sucker. People who are engaged in criminal behavior, gone, all that stuff. But people who have been here for 20 years and have a son that's a sailor in the U.S. military, hot damn, man, I don't think they should be deporting that person. Should not matter. He should have known better. Go back and come back the way you're supposed to be documented. I mean, I think if ICE bounces you, the idea that you're going to come back in short time is probably pretty far-fetched, right? And then they're sending you back to Nicaragua, a place that you apparently haven't been in 20 years. Long enough to have a son who, is an American fighting for the military. Hell no, we should not be deporting military family members. So if he was here 19 years, fair game? No, I mean, I think if somebody is an illegal immigrant who's been in the United States for 20 years and they have a child that's serving in the active military and this is not for a criminal act, I think we could detain that person. I think we could put them through proceedings. And then I think that person should be put on a path to be able to remain in the country. That's my take on it. Now, call me crazy. I'd like to deport about half of Minnesota. Okay? So I'm not Mr. Soft on deportation. But half of Minnesota isn't like some dad in the Keys whose family is patriotic enough that the son wants to go over and put his life on the line for the United States of America. That's a whole different thing. All right, we're coming back right now. Stand by.
And you offer immunity to 4, you better be right about the 5th. Because if you're not, then you've just given immunity to your killer.
Listen to Fault Line Haditha on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow Fault Line Haditha and start listening on the free iHeart Radio app
For all
today.
your plumbing needs, go to modernpi.com.
The game of magnets, taking over the world one terrible person at a time.
Newsjunkie.com. A lot of interesting stories out there today. We still don't have like that jaw dropper, big story that's kind of broken through the cold news cycle, the boring ass news cycle we've been stuck in over and over and over again. But there's a lot of interesting stories on the periphery. I was talking a bit with the folks during the break about this guy who got detained by ICE this weekend. And you might start out in the headspace of like, oh, illegal immigrant detained by ICE. There you go. Adios, muchacho. See you later, right? Like, send them back. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you, or whatever my dad used to say, right? Sometimes where you hear that, you go, okay, this person was illegally in this country. Who are they rounding up? Hopefully this was like some bad, nefarious criminal, and they deported him. But the details matter. Nuance matters. The people who erased nuance were a part of the problem. I think it's led to where our country is right now with politics. But nuance to me matters. And one thing that I always find to be like at least a little bit important is how long the person was in America. Now, they arrested this guy in the Keys this weekend. He was in the Florida Keys, and he's lived there illegally, but he's lived there for 20 years. All right? 20 years he's lived there. And they're sending him back to Nicaragua. If you moved to Nicaragua and then illegally lived in the United States of America for 20 years, and then they're going to send you back, I don't know exactly what you're going back to.
Right.
You know, I wouldn't imagine like you, like, hey guys, I'm back. And they're like, who?
Especially since, depending on what country you left, you might have been fleeing a not so good situation there.
Who knows?
And, so like you might not have had much to leave. The more or less something to come back to,
Yeah, I mean, I think there are a lot of people in my mind that should be deported. People who don't assimilate. This is just me. Where people who do not assimilate. Looking at Minnesota, there's like a quarter of the population possibly that I would deport from that state. There's a lot of people who I wouldn't want here in the United States of America. But when you look at the nuance of a guy who's living in the Keys, who's been there for 20 years. And his son is currently on the USS Abraham Lincoln over in Iran as a sailor who's fighting for the U.S. military. And I'm like, isn't this the guy we should give a pass? Like, isn't this the guy that we should go, well, I don't know, I mean, he's patriotic enough that his son has decided to be a sailor in the U.S. military, putting his life on the line. And loves America, I'm sure. He's living in the Keys. A lot of interesting characters there. Doesn't know Nicaragua, hasn't been there in 20 years. I mean, I don't know. This is one of the ones where I go, hey, you could get me behind half of the Somali people who come over here and don't want to live in America but want to make a little Somalia inside our country. I'm with bouncing a bunch of those people. But this guy seems like, can't we put him on a fast track to be able to hang out and see his sailor son?
I kind of had the same question about the guy in Central Florida who got busted and then self-deported to Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
He was a bar owner. He had been here. I don't know. I'm trying to look him up to see like.
It was a pretty long time.
He had been here a long time. He owned this bar.
Maybe 20 years. Maybe around.
He was big in the local live music scene, and it was just like a big hit to that scene when Uncle Lou got told he had to go, and it was like, you're going to your native Jamaica. I hope you have stuff there. If he self-deported, If he self-deported, weren't they offering money for that for a second?
They were offering some money, and some people actually did take them off up on the self-deportation thing. But a lot of times I go, guys, isn't there there could be a little common sense here, right? Like we can work that in. Bandit says he had 20 years to follow the law and file the correct paperwork. So what's the excuse? I don't know. I give a lot of credit to people who are assimilating and who want to be Americans. And I can't think of a better way to show that you're assimilating and you want to be an American than your son being a sailor in the U.S. military. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't a house where they're like, the United States is garbage. This country sucks. Those are the people I want to get rid of. I want to get rid of those people en masse, right? But I don't when it's somebody who, like, maybe they made a mistake at the beginning, but they have assimilated. They're with the culture. They're on board with the American experiment. And I don't know. That's the way I view this. Let us know what you think. Send a dispatch in over at thenewsjunkie.com. Okay, that guy, the former NBA star, I don't know how to say his name, Enes Kanter, E-N-E-S Kanter. He used to be an NBA star, and now he's trying to be in the WNBA. Like he said, I'm a woman. I'm transgender now, and he's trying to get into the WNBA draft. He got kicked out of a game this weekend. It was the Chicago whatevers versus the Indiana whatevers, and they're both playing. And he shows up.
The WNBA has never gotten so much coverage, but we're still just not quite there.
I don't know. We had a sports guy on Friday. I thought he would know some of the things of the team. He didn't. He was a good time, though. Jaden, maybe we'll hear him back on the show sometime. But WNBA action. Here it is. During the game.
Basketball game. Chicago staying in it.
Natasha Cloud got mad and started cursing at him while he was in the stands there. He gets up. He has a shirt on. The NBA player who's trying to join the WNBA has a shirt on that says woman, noun, adult, human, female, which is one of those things where when people get triggered by that, that's pretty hilarious. But he's wearing a shirt that says woman, noun, adult, human, female. And he's in the stands, and she started to like scream F words and this and that.
And right before the break, this was the
and run up to him.
Wintrust Arena after Natasha.
Well, there's something hilarious about the fact that he is just size mogging every one of these women.
Yeah.
That makes you think if he did get in the WNBA, they might turn tail on this whole idea that they have going on. Because the guy is in the stands, and he's a good 1.5 feet taller than all of the women who are out on the court for this WNBA game. He got booted.
Cloud got that bucket. She wanted her voice heard.
Oh, she wanted her voice heard.
We talked about the conversations surrounding the W.
All right, so they booted
I would
him
rather,
out.
for the moment, her voice not be heard. For broadcast sake, I could see what was coming out of her mouth.
There was a lot of people. Yeah, we would probably lose our license. There was a lot of people who were kind of cheering him on as he was leaving. And there's people up here. Okay, there's a thumbs down, but there's people trying to give him a high five, cheering him on. So he got booted out of the WNBA game. And obviously he's trolling, right? And, I don't blame them for getting pissed off. He says, I just got kicked out of a WNBA game for supporting women. Let that sink in, America. 3.9 million views on his tweet. What else do we have? Then he took a picture. It's halftime, and I need to use the restroom. Rules are rules at WNBA. 2.7 million views. Then somebody said a WNBA team revealed that they have a new queer turtle mascot to taunt Sophie Cunningham, who is sort of at the forefront of this round of this discussion in the WNBA.
Did they...
way to own them with the queer turtle mascot.
But
really.
Is this Twitter account, New York Post Sports, are they saying that the queer turtle mascot is to taunt Sophie Cunningham, or is this team saying we have specifically gotten a new mascot just for Sophie Cunningham?
I don't know if they said that. They just launched it, but the New York Post Sports says WNBA team reveals new queer turtle mascot. How awesome. And then here's a take on this. Tell me if you agree or disagree. Chris Williamson, who is an Emmy-nominated sportscaster. Didn't get that Emmy, huh, Chris? He says, the moment the league didn't discipline Sophie Cunningham for her transphobic comments, they set the table for almost all of this political discourse and nastiness towards the trans community. Her conduct has objectively been detrimental to the league. He says they didn't discipline him. The moment they didn't discipline Sophie Cunningham for her transphobic comments, which I don't even think were transphobic in the slightest, she simply said that she wanted to protect young women in women's sports, and that she didn't want men to be in the locker room. It's not transphobic to say that. It's just like plainly obvious on its face. But the idea that she should have been disciplined. So some of the students, according to people like Chris Williamson, some of the athletes, I should say, some of the athletes are allowed to say whatever their political opinion is, even if it's deeply unpopular. And that is to be lauded. And they are heroes and brave, and truly brave for doing this. But if anybody dares disagree and has an incredibly popular overall sentiment on the issue, well, that person should have been disciplined. And the moment they weren't disciplined, it set the table for all this discourse. It's like, well, this is just silly. Stop with this nonsense. All right, play basketball. Make it about exciting basketball stuff. Yeah, literally shut up and dribble would be the point that I'm at here right now. When you've made it so certain players can have certain opinions and others, well, those ones are just kind of outlawed or whatever. The rest of the stuff is a troll, but at least it's something interesting. Let us know what you think if you've got a take on this over at thenewsjunkie.com. More importantly, I want to get to some of your dispatches. Rate My Blank is Rate My weirdest talent this week. You got to tell us what it is, and then we have the ability to call you out on it, where we're going to want to bring you on the show and see if you can actually do this. So I've got some of these. Now, this person, I don't know how will we prove this? Here's what this person says their weird talent is.
So my weird talent is that I have very little sense of smell, so we could obviously play a game of guess that smell on secret shows. And I can even bring something that's pretty bad smelling from work if you want me to.
He says he has very little sense of smell. That's his weirdest talent. Okay. All right. Okay. Here's Rusty.
Morning, junkies.
Hey.
My weirdest talent is I can wiggle my ears without moving any other part of my face. Ain't much, but it's a talent.
All right. We're off to the races here. We're starting out. Somebody says F. Lindsay Clancy. Okay. Well, we'll try to get to that at some point in time. We have a Lindsay Clancy update because that's in closing arguments in the trial. A lot of interesting stuff happening there. I got a bunch of viral clips in the ad that is really making people melt down. I'll tell you why and what's going on with that as well. All of it coming up next on the News Junkie.
Real Radio is the Jim Colbert Show.
I've just sort of run out of ideas of what to do with my son. I came up with a new game in the garage today. I called it Giant Soccer.
Better than the garage game we used to play, and that's let's close the door and start the car.
Yeah.
No, you don't want to play that.
The Jim Colbert Show. Weekdays at 3 on Real Radio 104.1.
From the Odoo.com Weather Center. Odoo.com, the only business software you will need.
I'm Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Jessica Dobson with a check of your Central Florida forecast. And for today, we are going to be expecting another hot and humid day, a little above normal, with highs reaching the mid-90s this afternoon in Orlando with a high of around 94 degrees. We'll also be dodging a couple of hit and miss afternoon and evening showers and storms. These will be very hit and miss since we're only expecting about a 30% chance of rain today. We'll see about a 40% chance tomorrow and even higher chances through the end of the week. From the Fox 35 Storm Team, I'm meteorologist Jessica Dobson.
This report is sponsored by Audible. When you start listening to books on Audible, traffic might seem like less of an annoyance and more of an opportunity for another chapter. Audible, stories that speak to you. New members can start listening with a 30-day free trial at audible.com.
Dive into a summer of awe and awesome at SeaWorld Orlando. Get up close to orcas, belugas, penguins, and more. Take an all-new Arctic adventure on Expedition Odyssey Fire and Ice. Now open.
All right, we're back, everybody. I'm betting somebody's weird take, says Logical Phallus. I'm betting somebody's weird take is filleting themselves and Sean won't put it on the show. Yeah, I mean, that's not gonna make it on the show, I don't think. He didn't make it in the NBA, so he's trying to bother the WNBA. What a loser. Yeah, but doesn't he kind of have a point? Sometimes losers have a point, you know what I mean? It's the glorifying incel douchebags hour. What is that? What does this even mean? Are you calling the Inez guy an incel? Does anybody actually know what the word incel means who uses it anymore? Or is this just like a catch-all term that becomes an insult? Is that what you're doing? It's very weird. Hey, YouTube. Hey, Twitch. Kevin says, when my talent is out, Sean won't put it on the show. Try me. Send a dispatch with your talent for Rate My Blank this week. And we'll see what you got. Peaks or it didn't happen? Maybe. Involuntary celery? That's a whole different thing. Yeah, I mean, I don't know this guy. It seems like there's some people in the NBA that didn't like him much, but then I never know, like, do they not like him now because, like, of the politics thing? Or do they actually not like him? It's so hard to see what anybody's motivations actually are. Watson, did you see how RFK was in DeBarry at Gypsy's grand opening over the weekend? I did not. He's clearly trolling? Oh, 100% he's trolling. Yeah, just in case you didn't pick up on that. Yes, he's absolutely trolling, as are the other NBA players who are admitting to this. But it kind of exposes this retarded side of the WNBA, which is like looking to virtue signal to this infinitesimally small piece of their community. And they continue to do this instead of just stating the obvious that the WNBA is a league for women. That's it. It's easy. Simple thing. It's a very simple thing. The WNBA is for women. Men need not apply. Men should apply in the NBA, right? Easy peasy. Simple, to the point. Incel equals gay, intentionally celibate? Incel doesn't have anything to do with gay. What are you talking about? What on earth are you talking about? He played for OKC, but I don't think he got a ring. It's not saying that trans women are supported. They just can't play in the WNBA. Exactly. You could say we absolutely support trans women and the trans community. Awesome. But let's be legit. We're the Women's Basketball Association, so we do support women here. And move on. That's it. It's such an easy W. The easiest W in the WNBA history. It's an easy win. But people are so obsessed with like the signaling to these tiny communities. And I even saw somebody online that was like, of course they're doing this. This is what the majority of WNBA viewers want. They're all queer black women. I'm like, you're confusing the players with the audience. The majority of WNBA viewers are actually men.
At iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
This portion of the News Junkie is brought to you by that mortgage guy, Don.
Don't miss the boat. Compare your quote with that mortgage guy, Don.com. Radio 104.1.
On the bright side, we're not dead yet. You're listening to the news.
Then we'll kick in to the second half of the show. Don't miss a moment of it. If you're on a station that doesn't get the second half, you are really going to be missing out today. I can't have that happen. But it's never too late. You can go over to youtube.com/thenewsjunkie. youtube.com/thenewsjunkie. All right, let's do the hot sheet.
Check the hot sheet. It's news. But not like real important news.
Best investigative reporting on the planet.
The top stories from the people on your screens and speakers are on the hot sheet with C-Lane.
That's right. It's the top 5 stories in the nonsense news brought to you by that mortgage guy, Don. And we start with this music producer, music co-founder of Quality Control Music. You might not recognize that company, but you recognize names like Migos, Lil Baby, City Girls. The co-founder who helped build the career of stars, including the ones I just named, is recovering in the hospital after suffering a heart attack, but reportedly is improving. That is Pierre Thomas, a.k.a. P, hospitalized Friday after suffering that heart attack. heart attack. He's recovering at a Las Vegas hospital.
A heart attack.
A little heart attack. No,
this is what happens when he goes to Nashville for the weekend.
No,
folks.
my chair is sinking.
Oh no, it's going down.
That Nashville might have also had a little hand in the chair sinking thing too, man. Good food.
What's happening over there? Is that your chair making some commentary on your weight after the weekend?
It
and
might
after
be.
The food you ate?
It does that every now and then. Jafar Jackson, obviously the nephew of Michael Jackson, who played Michael in the biopic, has been giving some interviews about what he thinks for the second installment of the biopic, the one that they've been promising. Now, famously, a lot of people had some opinions about the fact that the Michael movie kind of stopped at a certain point. And the director, Antoine Fuqua,
watch your mouth.
Trying to be good about that. He's confirmed that the movie originally included scenes covering allegations against the musician that were famous, but eventually, I think they were making room for a different movie. They cut those out and ended the story right in 1988. Jafar Jackson says he wants the Michael sequel to give even more insight into the child sex abuse allegations from his point of view.
From Michael's point of view?
I mean, that's not the insight you're thinking of, buddy. He clarified he doesn't have a say in what future stories from the King Apocalypse's life will be depicted in the film, but he said, I think the second film will give even more insight from his point of view because at the end of the day, the allegations are always from someone else's point of view.
Is there anybody who believes that the second part of the Michael Jackson biopic is going to seriously consider all the kid diddling stuff
or be like absolutely damning to his reputation?
Yeah, there's no way. There's no shot. They're gonna. If anything, they would make it like so. The kids had it coming. Like,
okay,
they would. There's no way that they're going to be like Michael Jackson was actually a monster. That's what we're telling you.
He continues. It's someone else's story. It's someone else's idea of what it is, and mainly driven by an agenda. And that's really the issue we've been having as a family, not having Michael's voice be heard. I think that's very, very important, especially in the late years. I mean, didn't we hear Michael's take on it? Like, that's ignorant. It's ignorant. But apparently Jafar Jackson, son of Jermaine Jackson, who performed alongside brothers Jackie, Tito, Marlon, and Michael for years, he thinks that they should give more insight in the next movie. I don't know if that's going to happen.
I don't think so.
Rock legend Bret Michaels has canceled all of his concerts for the rest of the year after an emergency surgery. I guess, and I didn't know that you had emergency surgeries for this. I thought you just kind of had to deal with it, but he had an emergency kidney stone surgery. Do they have kidney stones so big that you can't pass them?
Yeah, you got to blast them. I believe they can blast them with like lasers if they get too big.
I'd heard that before, but I didn't know that this was a tour-ending surgery, which is causing some people in the comment section to kind of, are we sure this is all about the surgery? In a statement posted to social media, the Rockers team announced Michaels still needs additional rest and recovery. This coming as he did do a performance that he kind of powered through at the Bowl in Sugar Hill, Georgia on Friday. Following the comeback show, they called it, doctors and paramedics determined immediately after the show that he still needs additional rest and recovery from his recent surgeries, so he's taking the rest of the year off. But he does still hope to have a Poison reunion. That's if Poison agrees to do it, because I think last we heard they didn't want to do it because he wanted all the money. Like the drummer of Poison said that Bret Michaels was trying to get the lion's share of the concert money.
And he deserves it. You know why? You just said the drummer of Poison. You don't even know what his name is.
His name is Ricky Rocket.
All right. You almost called him Nicky. All right?
Yeah, Nicky Rocket. Ricky Rocket. Yeah. What's the difference?
Everybody could be fine without Ricky Rocket is what I'm saying.
Have you seen this picture of Casey Musgraves and this new huge tour prop that she used?
That was kind of brilliant, honestly. People are like, there's lots of reactions to it, but
I'll read the headline here. This is from complex.com. It is the actual
name.
Casey with a K, K-A-C-E-Y, Musgraves, M-U-S Graves. And it says, Musgraves has a ball on tour with aerial nutsack performance.
It's so genius. And like, literally, if you wanted to get stuff like a prop on stage to trigger the audience, And to get them going, this is such a smart thing.
So imagine truck nuts if you can't see us right now.
Yeah.
Imagine giant truck nuts, but instead of like them being rubber and like skin colored or something, it's a disco ball. It's a giant scrotum disco ball.
And she's sitting on it.
And she's sitting on it and singing her song Rhinestone while seated inside the suspended testicle-shaped disco balls, inspiring social media to dub the prop the NSAC disco ball. They said she turned up the heat a little on opening night of her Middle of Nowhere tour with the help of the Risque tour prop, also celebrating her 38th birthday at Chicago's United Center on Friday night. And last but not least, it is pretty funny looking. Last but not least, I guess Shia LaBeouf said in an interview that he's still drinking every day.
Nice.
And some people kind of did the math on his recent Mardi Gras arrest. The actor remains on probation following his New Orleans criminal case. He must also complete anger management and substance abuse treatment. His next court hearing is scheduled for September. But if he's actually drinking every day, I don't think that's going to go quite well for him.
He kind of ratted himself out, it seems.
A little bit. He pleaded guilty to 3 misdemeanor battery charges from his New Orleans case, sentenced to 2 years probation, and required to take an alcohol treatment class. The courts say Shia has followed his probation requirements. He's shown proof he will complete anger management and substance abuse treatment by next month. But at some point, he told somebody, he's like, no, yeah, I'm still drinking alcohol every day. And that might be something that we would see him getting rearrested for if the probation officer catches that and was like, hey, buddy, you're not really supposed to be doing this on account of your previous legal problems. But we'll see how that pans out. Hey, if you have a mortgage quote and you're not shopping it around, you're making a mistake. It's the number one mistake people make when getting a mortgage is not comparing, and it's so easy to do with That Mortgage Guy Don. Take a picture of your quote and upload it on thatmortgageguyDon.com today.
Don't miss the boat. Compare your quote with thatmortgageguyDon.com.
Not for nothing, but if That Mortgage Guy Don had the glitter balls, and then when you went to his office, they were like, Don will be right with you, and he came out on the glitter balls, I think it would be pretty boss entrance. I think that it would get people's attention. And
I don't want to say ballsy. I don't want to say ballsy.
We'll have to look into this.
Right
All
there.
Quick break. When we come back, an ad over the weekend that was released was pulled immediately. People started freaking out about this. They said it was so offensive. I'm going to play it for you next. We'll see if you agree. That is coming up next on the News Junkie.
Live sketch comedy makes its way to Mount Dora.
Hey, you. Commercials. Who needs commercials? We're on the stream, baby. We're on the stream. Just so you know, we're at 7 on the day for gifted and subscriber count. You can subscribe over at thenewsjunkie.com or gift subscriptions to the poor folks out there who just can't afford to support. And these are up there now. There's 15 of them total, canvas tote bags. And if you have 5 points, which is 5 gifted subs, you can claim this. You could bring it to the beach. You could behead somebody and put it inside. It'll be perfect for trick-or-treating. Various different things you could do with the canvas tote bag with the News Junkie logo. Or just subscribe yourself. You could get a OG magnet as well. These are 1 point. They're only 1 point for the numbered Game of Magnets. Get on board with Game of Magnets. You see one of these in public, you could steal it. The greatest game. So do that over at thenewsjunkie.com. All right, question, chat. Crime is down in the country. Crime is down dramatically. And there are 4 main theories as to why. One of them is very interesting, which I'm going to tell you in a second. But the United States, violent crime is plummeting in the country. Plunged 9.7% in 2025, the largest annual decline since the FBI began keeping track. Murder rate falls 18.5%, tying 1955 and 1956 for the lowest homicide rate in the United States. And there's 4 main reasons why they think violent crime has gone down. But before I tell you them, what do you think has caused violent crime to plummet in the United States in the last couple of years? In a couple of words, YouTube, Twitch, TNJ, chat, what do you think has caused violent crime to plummet? The economy, stupid, says Bootsy. How would that work, though? If the economy seems to be getting a bit worse. Inflation is a bit of a problem. The economy. Cameras. Snoop Frog says cameras. That's a good guess. BDMX Con says gas. It's too expensive to be violent. Ring doorbells. Abraham with an actual good guess. Too hot. I don't even know if you're screwing around or not, but literally a good guess, because sometimes when it's too hot, crime does actually drop. And when it's too hot or too cold. Lazy criminals, legal weed, marijuana, less crazy women. Sport, I have to tell you something, and this is just a brutal truth. As much as I may be with you on this issue or that issue, we shouldn't get too deep into the crazy women argument. Last I checked, the vast majority of people in federal prisons for violent crimes and otherwise in the United States of America were people with XY chromosomes and penises. The men, right? It's men who commit the violent crimes. We can't blame it on women. We can't do that. Crime goes up when it's hot, though. It depends. In a lot of neighborhoods, when there is a heat wave, crime actually does go down. Everybody's packing heat, says Figgy. Here's the 4 things, and one of these is really interesting. 4 things that they believe are reducing the crime rate. Drug use and firearm purchases are down drastically. Drug use and firearm purchases are down drastically. COVID lockdowns, number 2, disrupted community guardrails and displaced young men and teens. Employment and social routines have stabilized. Number 3, a law enforcement tech boom. AI tools, Palantir's Gotham technology. And number 4, the big surprise twist-a-rooney, GLP-1s like Ozempic. GLP-1s like Ozempic have reduced the ability or the desire for a lot of people to engage in violent crime and dangerous activities. Impulse control has been pulled into control. GLP-1s bringing down the crime rate.
See needs? Turn to the experts at Carrier. Go to millsair.com.
Broadcasting live from the JustCallMo.com studios. Need help after an accident? Just call Mo. Learn more at JustCallMo.com or call 1-800-CALL-MO. This is WTKS-FM HD1 Cocoa Beach, Orlando. An iHeart radio station guaranteed human. Dispensing unsolicited advice on a wide range of pointless topics.
Newsroom. You look great. So good to be with you here. Learn more about the show over on the website, which is at thenewsjunkie.com. There was an ad this weekend that was released, and then very quickly, the people who released it pulled that sucker back so fast. Oh, my God.
Even less chance for you to watch it because you never have anything with commercials in it.
I don't, and I don't watch golf, and it's in the world of golf.
Oh.
So, Good Golf is the name of the company. Anybody heard of them? Good Golf?
No. I would be at the opposing company, Bad Golf.
Yeah, me too.
Bad, no
I'm right
good,
there with you.
Stinky Golf.
Good Golf, I guess, is one of the big sponsors of the PGA Tour this year, which is, a big deal. It's like the center of golf in the world. And they posted an ad that people didn't like, I guess. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to watch it together with you, and we'll see if it's good or whatever. But Good Golf said this is their statement as of this weekend about the ad. We posted a video to our channels that ultimately depicted actions that are not aligned with our values as a brand. We have since taken that content down, and we sincerely apologize. Good has always stood for making the game of golf more inclusive to all, and will continue to ensure that's our mission moving forward.
So are we to pull from this that the video depicted something or somebody not being inclusive?
I don't know. I mean, I'm only going by the reactions here because I'll play it for you in a second, but I haven't seen it yet. Oh, the top comment is, I'm sorry, society. I'm sorry society has become so gay that it's ruined comedy. Anybody with more than 2 firing neurons found it funny, or at a minimum got that it was intended to be funny. Then people were not happy with the apology even, who didn't like the ad. Empty corporate-style apologies will be really weird to look at in the history books. You think this is going to be in the history books? I love the things that people think will be in the history books in the middle of it. Like, there'll be some issue that somebody's fighting over, and they'll be like, I want to be on the right side of history. I'll be like, this is not going in the history books.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there will be things that deal with history that kind of maybe profile slightly. I'm just not getting a whole docuseries, documentary, but profile slightly the ways in which some corporations have had to do a 180 and kind of, our bad. Yeah. We apologize.
This person, Mark, says, you planned it. You filmed it, probably from different angles. I like how that makes it worse. You not only filmed it, you filmed it from different angles, I would suggest. Then you edited it. You color corrected it. And then you posted this thing. Disgusting, he said. Which is why we're in this weird spot in 2026 where nobody wants to apologize anymore. Because if you apologize, then half the people get mad at you because you're a pussy for apologizing. And the other half of the people who were pretending to clutch their pearls to be upset about whatever this ad was. Again, we'll listen to it in a second. But half the people who were upset about this and clutching pearls to begin with, they're not going to be satisfied either. This is the world we're living in. Nobody actually cares about any of this stuff. All right? No, that's the big revelation. That's the moment. That's the moment of truth here. No one actually cares about any of this stuff. They're using it as weapons to get you to bend to their will and agree with them. That's what's happening. But let's see the ad. Maybe it was bad or good, or I don't know. I have no idea. Here's one of the posts when this was released. Anybody see this ad? That's in quotes. Ad by Good and their new Callaway driver. Truly baffling this was greenlit, they said. I like how they said greenlit, and as if there's like, this is a Hollywood production. And
we're going to go ahead and greenlight that ad for you.
I know what they mean, but all right, here it is. It says Good presents, and so we can figure this out. Did you look up Good? Do we know what the hell they even do?
No, let me see here.
They golf clubs they make, I guess.
Well, no, Callaway is the manufacturer. I think Callaway is a pretty popular golf brand. I don't know what
big time.
This is like a collab or.
All right, maybe we'll learn in the ad. Here's Good and the ad that's been so controversial that people are upset. Here. All right. It says Good presents the driver. Oh, okay. So some woman was going to grab the driver out of her golf bag, and the guy runs up and knocks her over. I guess he's like trying to stop her from, she's trying to grab the Callaway club, the female golfer, and the guy runs at her and knocks her down.
Do not touch my new driver. I don't get the big deal. It says a driver. Johnny, no. Johnny, no. Don't do it.
Johnny, no.
Don't.
Please,
He turns around with a crazy face. He's grabbing the club. So I don't know. Johnny's angry that she touched his club or something, I guess.
Are you okay?
He's using the driver, missing. Finally hit it.
It's over. He's gone.
Like the lady touching it gave him the yips.
I don't know. The new Callaway X Good Quantum Driver, and they have all the people using it. Yeah, consider yourself warned. I don't get the point. So the guy started, it made him bad as a golfer when the woman touched the club? Or are they angry that he knocked her over? Because she went to get the golf club out of his golf bag, and then he knocked her over to stop her from getting it?
I would guess that, even if you don't understand what the joke is supposed to be, which I don't, maybe
isn't that kind of a problem?
That's the problem, but maybe maybe it means just at face value that people are mad that they depicted him just kind of knocking over a woman. Can't really see. Other than that, music being a little kind of annoying.
People are saying it's awful promo. What is good, or am I too old? I want to see if somebody say why they're mad.
By the way, to answer your question, Good is a YouTube channel. It's a YouTube channel and company based in Frisco, Texas, focused around golf challenges and games, often with other sports figures. And it's credited with helping popularize the sport with a younger demographic in the 2020s. And so I guess these are probably guys from the channel that are on there. And now that this channel is so popular, they've done a collaboration with Callaway Golf, which is huge for them.
Yeah.
And I guess
that's big.
People didn't think it was so funny.
It says, horrible ad. Any ad showing a bloke aggressively pushing a woman over is just so bad. Shame on Good. Why are they promoting abuse? Golf is literally a no-contact sport. Wow, this is awful. He knocks the woman over for touching the club, but it didn't seem like a domestic abuse thing or anything to me. It just seemed like he didn't punch her. He just trucked her. He barreled into her. I think the bigger problem, the only issue that I have with this is a stupid ad.
I think both are true. I think it was just it wasn't funny enough to excuse him just checking that woman to the ground.
But I don't understand where abuse comes from. If I watched a woman full speed ram into a guy in a bit, I wouldn't be like, this is about domestic abuse. And my brain wouldn't go there. It didn't seem like the guy was beating the woman. It seemed like he ran into her to knock her away from the club. Mm-hmm. It just seems like a stupid ad. That's the biggest problem is why did they do this when it's not very funny? It is a failure on that level to me. What is this crap? Assault women, be weird, profit. Somebody says.
I'm wondering if you were a fan of that channel, would you get the joke? Is the problem that it's sort of inside? Because I'm not getting anything out of it.
It's inside too much for me, I can tell you that. But they specifically said, Good has always stood for making the game of golf more inclusive to all. And this ultimately depicted actions that were not aligned with our values as a brand. So it's kind of a generic boilerplate.
But I think if I had to guess, it would just the main part would be checking the woman to the ground.
It seemed like that was the issue. But nobody's happy on the internet. Which is just a general comment, by the way. Nobody's happy on the internet is true always. It's it doesn't have to just be this. It's just always the case that nobody's happy on the internet. Let us know what you think. Maybe you were offended, maybe not. I don't know. In the meantime, let me show you this video. I can't believe this is real. Allegedly it is. Los Angeles, California, everybody. Check out this hobo situation in Los Angeles, California. Somebody driving by. Is that a television? Is that a flat screen television?
It is.
This is underneath a bridge. It's under the bridge downtown. And there's a platform, and the hobos are living on the platform, and one of them appears to have a connected and powered flat screen television as they're sitting there watching. It's a damn village. It's like a clubhouse. There's a ladder going up to it, for God's sake. What a time to be alive. They got a clothesline that's out there with their clothes on.
What's it plugged into? How are they getting power? Are there outlets up there under the bridges?
That is a phenomenal question. I hope they're not just grabbing some random electrical cords, but they have what appears to be almost an entire dwelling put together here in California.
Are you seeing this?
Okay, let me stop because I think he's going to curse. So let me stop him right there. He says, "Are you seeing this?" And probably a few choice words after that as well. Okay, let's, you know what? I'll put that up on See It Now since it is a visual. I'll put that up on See It Now. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we have to get to this story about this female pilot. I have some questions. You do not want to miss out on this. In fact, go over to youtube.com/thenewsjunkie so you can see the visuals on this next story. It's unbelievable. Then we'll get into the Lindsay Clancy updates. That's going to be a wild ride and a whole bunch more. It's all coming up next on the News Junkie. Stand by, folks. Quick live read and then back to it, baby. Stand by, live read incoming. If you missed that hobo encampment video, it's up for you right now on See It Now. It's quite a thing to behold. All right. Mills Air script. Here we go.
I'm James Birmingham.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Tired of overpriced blinds? Blindster makes custom blinds simple and affordable. You measure at home, install yourself, and save big. No retail store markups, just custom blinds guaranteed to fit. Blindster.com.
Let me tell you about a great American company. I mean it, an American company, a locally owned and operated company, a family-owned and operated company, a company unlike all the other AC companies is not going to rip you off. I'm not saying they're all bad, but most of them seem to have some issues with honesty and fairness and pricing. And the real deal is that Mills Air just wants to build a base of clients that they're fair to and honest with, and that keep coming back when they have AC problems. That's what their business is based on. And I think you'll appreciate that. So that's why I suggest you pick up the phone and call Mills Air. When you have a problem with your AC, do it. Mills Air. Get them on the phone. They've been doing this for 34 years. They've fixed your AC. They've fixed one like it. They've done this many, many times. One of their techs will come out to your house. They are professional. They know exactly what they're doing. They are skilled. And they will get you back up and running, nice and cool and comfortable. I was sweating a couple of months ago in the studio. I can't have that. Now, comfortable. Maybe too cold. Maybe too cold. If that's the one criticism I have for Mills Air, maybe they're too good at their job, and it's too cold in here now. If you want to be too cold, call 407-277-1159. 407-277-1159. Or find them online at millsair.com.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival,
Presented by Capital One,
is coming back to Las Vegas.
September 8th.
All right, we're back at it. Grand Theft Auto leaks incoming. Craziness from Iran incoming. Lindsay Clancy incoming. This female pilot incoming. And an update. Remember, we've talked a little bit about this race that's going on in Alaska. You guys following the Alaska race? Probably not. I'll give you the details on why it's important. There's an Alaska Senate race. A lot of eyeballs on this. And the two candidates that are going against each other in this Alaska Senate race, one of them's name is Dan Sullivan, and the other's name is Dan Sullivan. Right? So it's Dan S. Sullivan versus Dan J. Sullivan. Dan Sullivan versus Dan Sullivan in the Alaska Senate race. Well, now a former Anchorage mayor has weighed in on the competitive Senate race and made an endorsement. And he's endorsing Dan Sullivan over Dan Sullivan. He's choosing Dan S. Sullivan over Dan J. Sullivan. But the weirdest thing is, the guy's name is Dan Sullivan. So Dan Sullivan is choosing Dan Sullivan over Dan Sullivan in the Alaska Senate race. All of them spelled exactly the same. All of them spelled the same exact way. Dan Sullivan says, if you want to
put forward the best possible candidate, you should elect Dan Sullivan over Dan Sullivan to be the senator of Alaska. You heard it from the mouth of Dan Sullivan. Ain't that a thing? Ain't that a thing? What a time to be alive. Let me ask you a question, chat. You can only choose one. What is more important to you? Climate change or animals? You can only choose one. Climate change or animal safety, we'll say. Do you choose climate change or do you choose the animals? I have a point. I'll get to it in a moment. If you have to pick, there's a gun at your head. They're pointing the gun at you. Animal welfare or climate change? You have to pick one of them. The reason I ask you is because the big brains have come back in with a study that's supposed to change everything. And these big brains have now determined through a new study that eggs from caged hens have a much smaller environmental footprint than cage-free eggs. Cage-free farming is bad, they say, for the climate and for climate change and all of those things. They say they're going to have to switch their recommendation to putting the chickens back in the cages, because when we let them out and we put them in a cage-free environment, it's bad for the environment. Cage-free, free-range, organic eggs, according to this study, are terrible for the environment. And they want to shove the birds back in the cages, which is hilarious to me. This one's so obvious on its face. Like, quite obviously, if we are going to be utilizing animals for food, which we need to, and we should, we're omnivores after all. If we're going to be using animals for food, then we should at least treat them decently along the way. And shoving chickens into cages that are barely bigger than them, stacking them 15 to 20 high, and some sort of chicken condominium where they all shit all over each other and are miserable and don't get to move and their legs actually become disabled underneath their bodies, is quite obviously morally wrong. But when you open all the cages up and let all the chickens live a free-range life, let them run around and be cage-free, now the big brains have come back to tell you that that's actually even worse because it's bad for the environment. I'm going to choose to keep the chickens free. I want them free-range chickens, okay? And if it gets a degree hotter, so be it. The eggs are better. The chickens are happier. We're being nicer to the chickens. These absolute dipshits who research things like this know the conclusions that their reports are going to reach before they ever get to those conclusions. They are crazy. All right, we're coming back. Here we go, everybody.
5 players, and you offer immunity to 4, you better be right about the 5th. Because if you're not, then you've just given immunity to your killer.
Listen to Fault Line Haditha on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow Fault Line Haditha and start listening on the free iHeart Radio app today.
For all your plumbing needs, go to modernpi.com.
Radio.
Story time with the best friends you never knew you.
Questions. Boy, oh boy. I got a lot of questions about this one. I think you might too. This is about this young female pilot, Faith Tankley, who appears to be kind of off the radar, which, you know, good for her. I was going to try to get her on the show today, but She was trying to go pick her parents up, I believe, in the Bahamas. And she was at 23 years old flying this Piper PA-30, which is a pretty small plane, Sealand, I believe, a Piper PA-30. And there was an engine issue, and her right engine failed in this small plane, and then her landing gear broke. So she goes, well, I am what they call screwed. And she had to ditch her plane into the ocean off of Boca Raton, Florida. Now, I'm going to bring this up so we can watch this together. But one of the absolute craziest things to me was, as her plane comes down and crashes into the sea, she does it very gracefully. It seems like she was a decent pilot.
It's kind of what you want to happen in that situation.
Yeah, she did it like what was his name in the Hudson?
Sully Sullenberger.
Sully Sullenberger. She Sullenbergered it into the ocean with all the grace one could imagine, considering a plane was going down in the ocean. And when she came running up toward the shore, I go, wait, hold on. Like, this just something doesn't look right about this. She comes running up to the shore in a bikini. I'm like, was she flying in a bikini? What was happening here?
What's wrong with that?
It seems weird to fly a plane in a bikini. Here she goes. Plane is going down. It lands.
Oh, that's unexpected.
Yeah, you got it, buddy. There's the plane. The plane is now in the water. And she's up on the beach. She turned out to be okay. So I guess they said when this woman was flying, she had a skirt on and a bikini underneath her skirt because she was going to the Bahamas and she was going to be hanging out with her parents. She lands, flips the skirt off, dives into the water, and swims back to shore because she was able to put the plane down right here.
Probably a smarter thing to do, as the skirt may have weighed her down and made it that much harder to maneuver the water, especially if the water was getting in the plane, if she hasn't gotten out of the plane yet.
Yeah, she was ready to go. Her brain was in a pretty smart spot. She was like, I got to get ready. I got to be able to get up on shore. And she put the plane down. She's okay. Everything's fine. She did lose the plane in the water. I don't know if you could bring this out and dry it off, Sealand.
It would be. I think you have to tow it out or something. I mean, and then if she was able to get out of the plane and then re-enter the plane, she would.
What a shocker! What a surprise! It's a tough story as long as it flies. This next clip is wild
flew at one point.
and as you might have guessed, we're back on a plane.
Oh, she was on a plane when she was in the skirt, and then not afterwards when she was out of here. How much money did she just put down in the ocean?
For a Piper PA-30? Is that what you just said? Piper.
Yeah, here she is. She's coming out of the waves right there onto the beach.
Wait, that's her?
Yeah, that's her up there on the beach. That's her.
That's not a bikini.
Yeah, she's in a bikini. She has a bikini bottom on. Yeah, she made her way up here. I don't know if there's a better video of her coming out, but and the plane just kind of sunk. Maybe they could pull it out of there.
Well, they would probably have to do something because you can't just leave a tank of aviation fuel in the ocean. It's frowned upon.
Very interesting that you brought that up, Sealand. One of the reasons why she did not try to emergency land at the airport was because there was so much fuel in the plane and the landing gear was off and broken. She thought it might spark and the plane might actually blow up. So this thing is full of fuel out there in the water. But a Piper PA-30
generally costs between $110,000 and $160,000 depending on the year, total airframe hours, engine time, avionics upgrades, any of that stuff.
Wow, look at that! Go for the gold there. Incredibly fortunate in this. The experts, she ditched it out. This is her here. This is her in the plane. I don't know if they have any other photos of her. Yeah, she's kind of like silent on social media, but she, I'm sure, was freaked out. And it almost looked like she intended to do it. Like and I don't mean that in a conspiracy way. I mean, she landed the plane so smoothly on the ocean.
Yes.
That it seemed like she had done this many, many times or so.
I think it's like part of your training is to, maybe you don't train specifically for water landings, but you do train for losing the control of your engines.
Right.
And so when you lose control of your engines, you can still land at an airport. you're supposed to be able to still land at an airport if you have control of the other things that manipulate the wind and turn the aircraft around and do all that stuff. So you're supposed to be able to slow the vehicle down and land it, but she had, obviously broken landing gear.
Yeah.
So basically she's just doing what she would have been doing on land, but in the water. And it's in her best interest to do so that the plane is in one piece and it's easy to get out of, and you're in one piece and easy to
get out
survive.
Question for plane people, and maybe you, C-Lane, do you get in trouble for this?
No.
You don't?
I don't think so, unless you were found to be negligent. Like if you had to land in the water because you didn't do something on your checklist, or maybe you were cutting corners and you did something that was against the rules or illegal or something like that, and that led to you having to do that, and that came forward in the investigation, then maybe you would be in trouble for that. But I think much in the case of Sully Sullenberger or anybody who's had to emergency land on like a highway or something, usually you get like a little, hey, good job, buddy. You were presented with a pretty scary emergency and nobody died.
Courtney texted me and said, "It's not a bikini, you weirdo." You couldn't be more wrong. It's a bikini. Maybe they even mention it here. Let's see. Because the point was she was flying and she took off
out of Boca Raton.
She took off some of her outfit.
Details about a small plane that crashed
to be in the
into
bikini to
Atlantic
swim up
Ocean
on the shore.
In this video, you can see the moments leading up to that crash.
Quiet.
Police say only one person was on board and
a hell of a
they
shift.
were not injured.
They have fired everybody at the television station. There's nobody behind her. There's nobody. It is just dead silent.
Down about 2 miles east of Boca Raton Airport, our reporter Rachel Williams joins us live from the scene with the latest. Rachel?
Jade, we're told that the plane was headed to the Bahamas whenever the emergency was declared, and that the pilot was eventually rescued by Boca Raton Ocean Rescue. And believe it or not, the plane is still in the water at this time. Now, FAA tells us that the crash happened around 10:40 this morning. Boca Raton police says the pilot was the only person on board, and we do not know the identity of the pilot, but she was taken from the plane by Boca Raton Ocean Rescue.
They're a little rocky over there at WPBF. I don't know what's happening over that station, but things were rough there. Is that her crashing? What is that?
There's just a lot of swooshes. That story was swoosh crazy.
It was a little bit, yeah. All right, there you go. She did it. Does that make her a good pilot, a bad pilot?
Good pilot.
People are arguing on chat. They're like, it's a woman flying a plane. Then they're doing the research themselves, saying that more men crash planes than women because there are more men pilots.
I mean, if you want to go the joke route, like from 30 Rock, when Matt Damon hated Sully Sullenberger and he was like, "Oh, they say he's such a great pilot. Great pilot would have landed the plane at an airport." Right. There's that argument, but I think she did exactly what you're supposed to do in your training. And what did you say? She was like 23 or something?
Yeah,
Good
23
on her.
years old.
Good
23
for her.
years old. She got out of there and was all right. Let's go to some dispatches. Let's see what you got for us here over on thenewsjunkie.com. And the Rate My Blank for this week, just so you know, is Rate My Weirdest Talent. And you could tell us via dispatch or even show us if you want to do it with a video. You can tell us what the hell is going on in your world and what your weird talent is. And then we will tell you if we need to see that. So we might need you to come on later in the week and show us whatever this talent is. Here's an example. There's a bunch of these coming through. The first ones were not great, just for the record. Well, I mean, you know what? I don't want to say not great, but we're starting off with somebody who has very little sense of smell, and then somebody who could wiggle their ears without moving their face. So
lost his sense of smell.
We know those. Here's a TTS dispatch of somebody that's got a weird talent for Rate My Blank.
Hello? My weird talent is that I am double jointed in both thumbs. I can pop my thumbs out of socket.
What does that mean?
It is AKA as a hitchhiker thumb because it bends back so far. Some people are grossed out by it. Some others treat me like a circus act.
Oh, wow. Crowd goes wild. What? You can like dislocate your thumb?
Okay, I always thought I had hitchhiker's thumb because I could bend it back really far.
Oh,
but,
you can. Wow.
But I can't pull it out of a socket.
Yeah. You can bend yours back pretty far, though. And
both of them.
He says his can go way out. I don't know if that's really what I would call a talent, though. I would more just say you're deformed. Not in a bad way, but, it's still an issue. This is a weird talent, but this person sent this in, so let's listen.
I used to work at a computer repair shop. I can tell you, I can, without a doubt, smell roach poop. It's very distinct. I know it instantly. Roach poop.
This guy's weird skill, or weird talent in this case, is that he believes he can smell roach poop. He says he can instantly smell it because of his time at some computer repair shop. He can smell roach poop. I don't know if I believe you or not. But, okay. Let's see.
How would we even, bring him in to prove to us that he can smell roach poop? We would have to acquire some roach poop.
Yeah.
Or even worse, some roaches.
Yeah, I don't want either one of those. Here's phlebotomy with a dispatch. This is about the Lindsay Clancy case. Okay.
Here's my opinion on this Lindsay case. I could really care less about it. Reason being is because I don't like the way the media picks and chooses which cases to put upon the public.
All right.
There's plenty of women out there right now that has killed their kids and they had mental issues and been on medication and whatever. But they pick and choose which ones to make public. There's other people going around with the same exact troubles right now. Maybe not the exact troubles, but similar situations that nobody's paying attention to it. So for this lady to get all the attention for what a bunch of people are going through, I really could care less.
Well, then you have to ask this obvious question to ask here, which is why this case? Why the Lindsay Clancy case? I don't know what your answer to that is, but my answer to that is because, number one, it's televised. So this is a televised case, which brings in the attention right off the jump. I don't know that I've seen any similar cases to this televised where we saw the whole thing. Number two is the social media reaction to it, where people all of a sudden started treating this woman who killed her kids as a celebrity. And there were people out there cheering on her vehicle when it was arriving at the courthouse, posing for pictures with her attorney. Like, that's just weird. That's very weird and deranged and mentally ill. And I think that's brought a lot of eyes to this Lindsay Clancy case. And I think that's made it much bigger. Certainly that's why I started focusing on it. That's made it much bigger in the last week or two. I think there's the interesting debate over mental illness and also beyond that, like the postpartum depression issue. I think those have come together and made this a case that's getting more attention right now. But I'd be interested to see phlebotomy, what you think made that the case. One more for now. Here's Wooly with the dispatch.
Hey, junkies. My wife and I missed a connecting flight from Boston to Bar Harbor, Maine.
That's not a town.
We were stuck at the Logan Airport. Rental cars were, I think it was like $1,000.
Could be a
to
town.
get one right then and there while waiting on a 2-hour line.
What'd you do for it?
Ended up hailing an Uber, and we drove 5.5, 6 hours from Boston, Massachusetts to Bar Harbor, Maine.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say, it was a lot cheaper. I think it was $350, $400, and it was nice not having to deal with the stress of the travels of figuring out where to go. That was on the driver. But man, what a long haul.
That's wild that the driver would pick up a ride like that too. Like, just the idea that they would do that.
Because it would be hard to get back and recover that mileage without, and still make money.
Yeah. I mean, you got to have a reason to go over there, or like maybe you can get another long ride back. Because you did pay him, he said $350 or $400.
$300 Uber rides don't just pop up in the app all the time.
I wouldn't think so. No, I would think it would be pretty rare, but who knows? One more for now on the WNBA front. Here's Postal Peisenberg.
WNBA, WNBA. I'm just happy you guys brought up the whole controversy, as I'm really getting tired of the politics that are intermingling in the whole thing. But I'm here for the I am not a hippie / other idiot guy who likes to call out I am not a hippie.
Oh, yeah.
Roast battle back and forth. What do you guys got to say to each other? Send it.
I kind of wonder sometimes when the WNBA stories come up, are they like, all right, here we go. Round 17. They usually both send one in. Maybe there is one in the pile here. We'll see. You guys can join in with your dispatches over at thenewsjunkie.com. All right, quick break. We're going to get back to jury duty when we return. Grand Theft Auto 6. We are supposedly getting the drop of this trailer, which is strangely going to be on Netflix this week.
Oh, I saw an ad for that on Netflix over the weekend.
An ad for the trailer?
It was in sort of like their version of the screensaver, where if you haven't touched anything in a while, it goes to kind of flash like the most popular stuff that's going on in a while. A lot of Hayden Panettiere stuff. Okay. And also I was like, oh, GTA 6 trailer, is that out already? And it's like, no, drops September, whatever the date is that they're doing it.
Somebody says it's a first look, not a trailer. Is there a difference? What's a first look versus a trailer?
Actually, it's a first look.
A trailer I usually think of for a movie. I think a trailer is like, it used to be called a trailer because it was at the end of the movie. You'd watch the movie in the theaters, and then at the end they would have these trailers that would tell you what was coming up soon. I always viewed that as what a trailer was, but I don't know if for a video game, I don't know if you call it something different.
Maybe because it's longer, it's more in depth. Who knows?
Yeah. But there's a huge investigation going on about the person who's leaking this stuff out, and I've got updates on that. And of course, obviously, some of the Clancy stuff within jury duty, some amazing sports calls, insanity in Iran, and a whole bunch more. We got a lot to get into as the show rolls on, and that is coming up next on the News Junkie.
Hey, you. Is it a trailer or a first look, folks? Tell us, what's the difference? Are video game promotions not called trailers? Am I wrong about that? Are video game things called first looks, or is that a different thing? Insanity in Iran, maybe we can bomb it. We'll try. Sean, what is your hidden talent? I used to be able to do the armpit thing. I don't think I can do it anymore. I don't. What else can I do like that we would consider a hidden talent? I used to be able to gleek. Anybody in chat know what gleeking is? I used to be able to do that. I don't think I could do that anymore either. I've lost all my skills. Sunburn says, I think it's finally showing gameplay this time. Is that why they call it a first look? BV King says a commercial. It's all commercials, right? A sneak peek. Eddie says, could care less about this game, which I think is what somebody just corrected somebody else on in chat. Meaning, could care less implies that you would be able to care less, so you care at least some amount. Take that, baby. There are trailers, teasers, and first looks. First looks tend to be more in depth. Okay. I can talk like Donald Duck. I might need to hear that. Couple of minutes and we're back live. Let's see what we got here. Good idea or bad idea, chat? The rapper Yo Gotti. Yo Gotti has a very popular restaurant, and his restaurant is called Prive, P-R-I-V-E. Yo Gotti, the rapper, has this popular restaurant called Prive, and they have now banned anybody under 30 years old with a new rule at the restaurant. They say to enhance our dining experience, entry is restricted to guests 30 years of age or older. Please have a valid government-issued ID available upon arrival. They have blocked, banned, stopped anybody at this fancy restaurant under the age of 30. Now, first of all, is it a good idea or a bad idea to ban people under 30 at your restaurant. Second of all, can we all agree there's a point in here? Getting rid of young people in certain things is always going to make the experience better. Follow me on this. You can go on a cruise ship, and that cruise ship lets everybody on of all ages. Or you can go on a cruise ship that allows only people over 30, or only people over 40, or the cruise ship only lets people over 50 or 60 on. The higher you get up, the less bullshit fights, drama, chaos, arrests, debauchery, drunken nonsense. Like, obviously, when you weed out the younger people, you are going to reduce the incidences of fights and chaos. So there's something to this. Privy? Is how you say it? I don't know. A gilf cruise? Obviously, by locking out the younger tiers of people, you can improve the experience for everybody. But is it a good idea or a bad idea to block everybody under 30 from your restaurant? Jury duty up next. Some cruise ships are wild now. Carnival's bad. It's because it's too cheap. Too cheap. You make the price of your cruise ship the cheapest, you're guaranteed to have the most just absolute, unhinged, deranged lunatics engaging in all the behavior that antisocial goons would. Hello? Hello. Hi. What do you want from me? Oh. Oh, I'm coming back. Stand by.
Are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual.
When you start listening to books on Audible, traffic might seem like less of an annoyance and more of an opportunity for another chapter. Audible, stories that speak to you. New members can start listening with a 30-day free trial at audible.com.
This earful of real radio is brought to you by JustCallMo.com. Injured on the go? JustCallMo.com.
Radio. Radio. 104.1.
Story time with the best friends you never knew you had.
You will work in more of your dispatches. I got another video from that bird call kid. We'll try to work that in at some point in time. Remember that kid, the little kid that was doing all the bird calls and went viral?
The one that was like, that was his weird talent?
Yeah,
it was at his school.
Exactly. His weird talent was that he could do the bird calls, which is perfect for this week when we're looking for weird talents from people.
For a second, I thought there was something that I missed on Friday. I was like, "You got a bird call, kid?" And then I was like, "Oh no, it was on the spectrum, right?" But he knew.
Jaden?
No, no. I thought I missed a clip you had on the show, and then I remembered. No, I remembered seeing the clip.
Yeah, we played that on the show before.
Put
Jaden
words in
was
my
great.
mouth. Yeah, I know, he's a good guy.
I'm just saying. It sounded like you were saying.
No,
that.
I would
all
never.
Right. Now we know. Here we go. Let's do jury duty.
Court is now in session, so put your phone down and pay attention. Before we call the bailiff over to whip your ass, you're now on jury duty with the news junkie.
Leaks everywhere. We'll get to them. We'll tell you what's going on
sieve.
In just a moment. Oh, man. Do we ever talk about that?
No.
We should talk about that.
Not
we
here.
should talk about that at some point in time. Jury duty brought to you by our friends at JustCallMo.com. Injured on the go? Just call Mo. 800-CALL-MO. After an accident, that's where you go. You pick up the phone and you call Mo. 800-CALL-MO.
You just had to put just in there, and the cadence would have been perfect.
You're right. Well, I was searching for it, too. After an accident, you know where to go. You pick up the phone and you just call Mo. Yeah. Boom. 800-CALL-MO or go to JustCallMo.com. There's a huge investigation underway for who leaked Grand Theft Auto 6. Some people are downloading this online.
Didn't somebody kind of take responsibility for it?
Yeah, a group called CyberLeak. A leaker called CyberLeak, but we don't know.
So
who
it's not just a clever
is.
name.
No, it's CyberLeak, Cyberleek. And now there's a huge investigation as to who leaked Grand Theft Auto 6 ahead of the first look on Netflix this week. Take-Two Interactive Software, the parent company of Grand Theft Auto maker Rockstar Games, has filed 2 subpoenas naming Microsoft and Discord as it hunts for the leaker known as CyberLeak. The legal filings specifically cite stolen content, seemingly confirming that the leaks are legitimate. Take-Two is requesting the removal of leaked material that violates its copyrights, as well as information that could unmask the leakers. The leaks so far include a map sneak peek number 1, number 2, another map sneak peek, a basketball video of protagonist Jason Duval throwing a basketball into a hoop repeatedly, a full map, a screenshot that showed the entire in-game map, a clip of Jason driving around for a little bit before beating up a truck driver, a taser video, a Junkies video.
Oh.
Big surprise here.
Didn't get the phone call.
Big surprise. A clip that appears to show a healing drug called Zombix. A tooltip indicates Zombix's effects will weaken over time if a player uses it too much. So there's like some kind of zombie drug that they use in the game. And then a plane video, a clip of Jason flying a plane over Vice City, which much of the game world is visible in the shot. At the end, whoever is playing the game in the clip shoots the word leak, L-E-E-K, into a wall with bullets, suggesting the leaker has a playable build of the game. And
I heard Ryan talk about this morning. There was a scene that's at like a nudist colony, and they're fully nude.
I didn't see that one, and that's not on the list here. I'm not saying Ryan is engaging in fake news, but it's not on the list that I have. So maybe it's fake, maybe it's real. We'll never know. But I know somebody who's a former director over at Rockstar says this is a nothing burger. Calm down, everybody. The leaks are a nothing burger as a marketing strategy. Rockstar is trying to keep the game under wraps longer than other publishers. All that has happened is some footage has escaped slightly ahead of the Netflix thing next week.
Some footage has escaped.
Has escaped.
Interesting way of putting it.
Yeah, indeed. All right, let's get to the Lindsay Clancy clips. I've got a bunch here, so let's work those into jury duty before we move on to the power hour of the show. Here is Fox talking about where we're at with the closing arguments in the Lindsay Clancy trial.
In the line outside the courthouse behind me here in Plymouth, Massachusetts, the trial is set to resume at 9 a.m. And many people are saying this has become a battle of the experts, with 2 forensic psychiatrists taking opposite stances on whether or not Lindsay Clancy knew what she was doing was wrong when she killed her 3 young children. And soon the jurors are going to have to decide which one they agree with more. Listen here.
Yeah, that's why I told you we're now down to crunch time. Will it be, and these are the only 2 options, guilty, Lindsay Clancy is guilty, or not guilty by reason of insanity? Those are the only 2 options here. And we're in the closing argument.
Where she was in a dream state and did not have control of her own body. It was almost like she was a puppet and someone else was pulling the strings.
Who was pulling the strings?
Retained the capacities that were required for having criminal responsibility for these actions.
There you go.
So Dr. Avram Mack will continue his testimony at 9 a.m. He's one of the prosecution's 3 rebuttal witnesses. On Friday, he called Clancy's killings and her suicide attempt methodical and said he doesn't believe that she suffered from psychosis. Clancy's defense argues that not only did she suffer from postpartum psychosis, but also she was over-medicated and experienced command hallucinations.
Command hallucinations? What even is that?
It's like a really easy thing where you could just tape the hallucinations to the wall, and then when you're done with them, you just pull a little tab and the hallucinations just come off the wall quite easily.
I don't think that's right. I don't think that's how this works. I heard somebody say, I heard a lot of people say this, in fact, and I kind of don't know what the hell they're talking about. I heard a lot of people say, well, the system failed Lindsay Clancy. And I thought about that for a second. And I said, did it? The system failed Lindsay Clancy. Like, this woman was admitted to a facility because she was having issues. She had medical professionals who were helping her out in prescribing her all sorts of medications. And then she would be inconsistent about her taking the medications. And then she would have an issue and go to the hospital and tell them that she wasn't on any medication. So they would prescribe completely different medications. And then her husband was like working through all of this with her. And I'm thinking, like, at what point, like, what should have been done differently? How did the system fail this individual? Now, you might say, like, she responded poorly to the medication, or there's like some things you could bring up here, but like, I don't know if the system failed this person. The only other way you could have done this is to dart her. You could have said, like, here's the stuff that she needs, and literally dart the woman, and then she would be on a controlled dosage of whatever you were looking for.
I think it's tough based on, like, which side are you on? You know, if you're on the side of she should be not guilty because of reasons of, I don't know if we're insanity or, you know, reasons of the mental health stemming from the postpartum depression that she has, you kind of need the system to fail her for her to get that. If the system didn't fail her, if the system did everything right, then she failed, and then she should be possibly found guilty.
I don't think that's true. Here's why. So here's why I would disagree with that. If I say that the system didn't fail her in so much as, like, she was getting help, she was getting people who were trying to help her out, I don't know that that gets rid of the idea that it still could be by reason of insanity. She was on a cocktail of medicines.
Right. Well, that's why I'm saying you need the system to have failed her. And in this case, it might be, hey, why was she on a cocktail of medicines? Why was she prescribed so many things? Was because she went to a doctor one day and got these things, and then went to a different doctor and said, I'm not on my medicine. And maybe they're not checking their notes. Maybe they're, you know, the left hand's not talking to the right hand here. But that's what I'm saying. I think you almost need the system to have failed her to get this not guilty verdict.
I think you could still say of all the medication. Well, I guess there would be something about this where you said, being that she was on so many medications, that implies that there was a failure.
Yeah,
and I would say that the woman went in and she would tell people that she wasn't already on medications. I don't know if there's not something where you can search up a patient's name and see what they're already prescribed. Is that not a thing? Is that not like a database for that?
I mean, it would be on your record. And I think depending on making, you know, as long as you're in the same medical network, those things should talk to each other. I don't know exactly how all that stuff works, though. There is a lot of privacy in the medical field where you would want certain people to not be able to access that stuff.
I think what everybody's looking for is the silver bullet. Like, if only this happened, or if only that happened. And I'm like, I don't know if you're going to find that here. I think that this is just what happens with mental illness. I think just looking at what the woman did, that alone is evidence that something very, very wrong happened here. But we'll have to get into whether or not she's going to be found guilty or not guilty by reason of insanity. And I've got some more of the viral clips spinning off of this that we're working a little bit later on in the show. When we come back, I got the viral video of the bird call kid. He's back at it. I got insanity out of Iran. We have to talk about this. In fact, that will be first when we come back. That's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Taste Central Florida, Orlando's premier culinary event this Friday at the Orlando World Center Marriott. Join more than 100 of Central Florida's top chefs, restaurants, and...
Hello, welcome behind the scenes of the show. Power Hour on deck. Tanya says, this is the first time I've heard that she would go to different doctors and say she's not on meds, and I followed this case from day one. What I heard, I could be wrong, but I believe this is correct. I heard that she went one time to the emergency room, and when she went to the emergency room, they asked her, was she on any medication? And she said that she wasn't like taking any medication. And they gave her a full slate of new meds, which if anybody knows anything about SSRIs and other things, Lindsay Clancy was in the list of all the medicines she was on. She was on medicines that would never go together, right? So when I first heard from C-Lane the list of all of the medicines that Lindsay Clancy was on, I was like, it seems like there were two different people treating this woman because you would never be on this medicine and this medicine, you know? So at one point in time, she went to the emergency room, I guess, and they gave her a different set of medicine that seemingly didn't make things any better. They do not talk, says Mama Greaser. She's a nurse and knows better when it comes to these medications and her own mental health. I mean, the biggest concern is I think she was openly saying she was having thoughts of harming her children. And I think in those cases, you have to separate yourself from those kids. If you're having thoughts of actively harming your children, I think when you still have some sort of grasp on things, you have to disconnect yourself until you're no longer feeling that. That's the only thing I could think of that would have remedied anything here. Or you could say, and this is very complex. I'll highlight how complex it is. You could say, if you go to a psychiatric facility, a la Perez Hilton, as of late, if you go to a psychiatric facility, you could say you should instantly lose custody of your kids temporarily, right? Right? So you go to an inpatient facility for psychiatric disorders, you've had some sort of emergency, and they take away custody temporarily, automatically, of your kids. But then isn't that going to discourage mothers from getting any treatment in the first place? You see what I'm saying? That's what makes this all complex. And when somebody says, the system failed Lindsay Clancy, I'm like, what part? What was the thing? Where is the failure point? What was it? Couple minutes and we're back live. That's not really true. I'm a nurse and I don't know all the side effects of every psych med. I know cardiac med because I worked in that, not psych med. Catmaster says, yeah, as a nurse, I could pull up all the meds prescribed and then when they refilled them. Is that true? And if so, maybe do they not do that in the emergency room or something? I don't know. Interesting. Guitar Slinger sends a dispatch saying, no, doctors do not communicate with each other on meds. I just don't know. This is my point on this. I don't know if you say the system failed her, where? Where did it? She had health care. She appears to have a supportive husband. She had people caring after her. She was inconsistent, apparently, with taking her medications. So that's why I say, other than darting her, what could you have done? In other news, there was another Twitch streamer controversy. Twitch streamer Bonnie got caught singing the N-word. There was a big fallout. She was singing a rap song and it had the N-word in it. I mean, I have a hard time believing people are still upset by this stuff. If you write a rap song and it has the N-word in it and you sell it and you're propped up by a mostly white audience buying tickets, listening on Spotify, going to your concerts, making you rich. The idea that people hyperventilate over some young white woman singing the N-word in a rap song is, to be as blunt as possible, absolutely fucking stupid. Enough of this nonsense. There is zero weird or controversial at it. What a strange way to look at things. Like setting the ultimate trap. I've created a song that if the majority of my audience sings it back to me, then somehow they've done something wrong. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Zero controversy there. It's a bunch of nonsense. Power Hour is 1 minute away. The trade war flaring up. The United States and Canada going at it. I don't know if you guys have been following that. Abraham says, do it soon. Hold on.
Help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just one dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Coming to you live from the JustCallMo.com studios. Accidents happen, but Mo's here to help. Injured on the go? Just call Mo. Visit JustCallMo.com or call 1-800-CALL-MO. This is WTKS-FM HD1 Cocoa Beach, Orlando, an iHeart radio station. Guaranteed human. Forever at the crossroads between viral news and total chaos.
They're trying to get me to sing a rap god. Too fast. Too fast. Couldn't do it. They were talking about how there was some stupid controversy over the weekend. Some Twitch streamer, some white girl or whatever, was singing along to a rap song and said the N-word in the lyrics. And then there was, oh, she did it. She did the... people, we're not doing that anymore. It's a rap song. It has lyrics in it. When the white kids sing along to it, as long as they don't have the intent to be racist and they're not purposely like over enunciating it and like trying to really utilize it to say the N-word.
As long as it doesn't sound like a here's my chance moment.
Yes. Yeah. As long as like if they're just singing along to the song and you wrote the song and you made money off all the white kids who bought tickets to your concerts and they listened to you on Spotify and most of your audience is buying your records is a bunch of white kids. Like what a weird trap to set. I put this in this music, and then you said it back, and I'm like, oh, my God, clutch my pearls. Who cares?
Did one of the guys do that live, like on stage, like pulled a white lady? Was it a girl or was it a dude? Not that it matters.
It was a younger woman in the middle of all the craziness in like the 2020 range or something.
And that pulled the person on stage because could see that she knew all the words. And then once she sang the N-word, he like, no,
Yeah. Yeah, it's so stupid. I'm over this.
Like when Coolio saw me singing. I was like,
you're like, yeah.
Still won that battle.
It's dumb and everybody knows it's dumb. And it's mostly a bunch of people clutching pearls, mostly white people clutching pearls. Like if I'm singing along to some song, who cares? It's all about the intent that the person has. And the intent of actually being racist is sometimes overshadowed by somebody being like, oh, my God, this white streamer girl said the N-word with an A on the end because it was in a rap song. Don't you know what everybody who's not black is supposed to do? You get around that word and you tiptoe. Like, who cares? Nobody cares. Stop with this nonsense. Nobody cares. All right. I wanted to get to, you had a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
About Grand Theft Auto?
A pretty decent one. First of all, I sent you a link to confirm that Ryan Holmes is not a liar.
All right.
Can
I click this link?
Yeah, you can click it.
Because I don't want to play it necessarily.
I don't know if there's any video footage on this.
Okay.
But the headline, new GTA 6 link is filled with boobs and D's.
Okay, all right. This is from Kotaku. And it says, new GTA, new Grand Theft Auto 6 leak is full of boobs and D's. And the cyber leak. Why do they say cyber hacker? Isn't that like
just a hacker?
Hackers, is there a hacker that's not a cyber hacker?
The breaker and enterer.
I guess so, as they call them. I'm genuinely impressed, this person says, by the various body types on display in the clip. Not just in size and scale, but skin color. Oh, they're excited about the diversity of the nude people in the video game.
Well, I think the whole point was it was supposed to be realistic and not like just a nudist resort full of beautiful people.
Well, that much is true. So there's a clip. I don't see it here. Oh, the clip featured a lot of nudity. It seems Jason has found some sort of nudist colony.
Should I take the screen off before you click this?
I'm going to click it. I'm going to click it.
All right.
This post is from a suspended account. So can't get to it.
Okay, the cyber leak thing, though.
They nuked them, man.
The on the texting service from prolific texter Evil Eye says, hey, they're spelling cyber leak L-E-E-K.
Yeah.
A leak is an onion.
Yeah.
Like the viral joke site The Onion. If there was if there was a parody of The Onion inside the Grand Theft Auto world, it might be called The Leak. Like maybe this is just them leaking their own stuff in a viral advertising. Whoa. I know. I was like, that's actually not bad.
I wanted to toss the R word at that idea, but no, I think that's not that bad, actually. That's not. I withdraw it. It could be part of a multi-dimensional front. Although, to bring the R word back into the picture, and I could deploy that if need be, they did suspend the account that posted this. And they are going after Microsoft and Discord for the files from the leaker, which does make me think that that's not a very good theory.
Well, why not inject a little realism into the situation by taking down some of the posts?
Yeah, I like it. I like that it could be real. We don't know.
And it would be very GTA of them to have their own version of The Onion called The Leak. Everything that they fictionalize is kind of a little bit close to the real thing.
Yeah, that's kind of adorable. I don't mind that. All right, let's get into it. Let's do the Power Hour.
They said it couldn't be done. Then they said,
I'm a woman. I'm transgender now.
It's time for the Power Hour on the News Junkie.
Congratulations, buddy. Congratulations.
Poof! Just like that. There you go.
Sophie Cunningham still doesn't want you on her court, but congratulations.
Look, it wouldn't matter what my loophole to get into any of those leagues was. They won't allow me on any court. I can't even get involved, for God's sake. I can't even get on a court with, say, your average Adam Sandler on a vacation or something.
Yeah.
A little pickup game they won't let me play, for God's sake. All right, couple of clips I wanted to work in. Should we do the bird call kid first? Because he's so fun. He's fun. He was doing a performance, they called it, at the Texas Tailgaters baseball game. And as we're doing Rate My Blank this week with Rate My Weirdest Talent, all right? Rate My Blank this week is Rate My Weirdest Talent. This one's perfect because this kid came up on our radar because of his weird talent of being able to do bird calls. And now he's everywhere. And I think this kid is awesome. I love him. I think he's great. And he does have a very interesting, weird talent. But they had him come out to the Texas Tailgaters baseball game. And here's what happened. He said, I'm doing bird calls for the Texas Tailgaters.
First, the majestic bald eagle. And the crazy rock pigeon.
Oh, they got the mascots near him, too.
Yeah, they got people in bird costumes as he's walking down the baseline. This kid, I love that he's got a level of confidence in this. Like, a lot of kids in his situation, you'd have to have the parents go, come on, do it. Do the bird calls. It's really impressive. They're going to love it. And, I don't want to do it. A bashful. He is not bashful about this. He's got the mic.
That's
he's
part
out
of
there.
the wiring in there that just he doesn't have that kind of fear of being on a microphone, being on the field there on the baseball diamond where everybody can watch.
He's in control.
Side note.
Looks that way.
The Texas Tailgaters, I had to look it up. They're part of the Banana Ball League, so they're like one of the teams that would play the Savannah Bananas. Yeah. But I just think a hilarious prank would be to name your team the Tailgaters, and then everybody shows up for the game, and they never even make it into the stadium. Because if they're true to their name, they're just Tailgaters. You can only see them outside.
I feel like, could be wrong, this is me going off of emotions here. I feel like, anecdotally speaking, could be wrong, I feel like the Savannah Bananas thing is getting pretty big. I feel like that has to be threatening baseball on some level genuinely now.
I don't think it's threatening Major League Baseball, but I just think it's like the Harlem Globetrotters if they were blowing up right now. Like the Harlem Globetrotters have been around for a long time, and they would still do these tours and these exhibition games and whatever, and it's a fun thing. But this is just like a different atmosphere, a different form of entertainment that people are really getting into, and it's hard to deny what you just said because they just had games at football stadiums. They had at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play. They had a Savannah Bananas game there, and it was huge.
Some people are saying they peaked. I don't think so. I think you guys are wrong. Who was the actress who was just at the Savannah Bananas game doing the song and dance? And oh my God, I forgot. I don't know who it was. But she came out. She had a beautiful voice. Kirsten Bell, maybe. No, that's not her. Not her.
Kristen Bell singing at the Savannah Bananas game and walking. She made a surprise appearance. August 15th. It just happened at Coors Field. At Coors Field in Denver. Isn't that another football stadium?
I think so. It's massive. There's the biggest thing. I think it's
a baseball stadium. I take that part back.
But it's a full-on MLB-sized baseball stadium.
It is.
These guys were like a little joke league, and they worked in wrestling gimmicks and stuff. And
Coors Field is where the Colorado Rockies play.
I don't think they peaked. I think they got a lot of room to go. But this is one of the teams in that league, C-Lane says, the Tailgaters, and the Bird Call kids with them.
And the grumpy great horned owl.
The owl?
A hot and snowy owl.
The hottest heli owl? Is that real?
Last but not least, a lonely American crow. I'm so sad for you, buddy.
Nailed it, buddy. Nailed it. Good work.
Not only that, but he also threw a little shade at the guy that was dressed as the crow.
Yeah, you look like a crappy-ass crow, buddy. Get it under control over here. All right, let's see. I've got a couple other clips for you. This is an attorney. Let's see if we think we believe him or not. This is a divorce attorney who's now confirming he has multiple male clients who are requesting to use their wives' public support of Lindsay Clancy in custody battles. They said if a woman thinks it's okay to kill your child because you have postpartum depression, that woman should lose all visitation rights, period. We must protect the children. Do we believe this guy? He's saying he's got clients now, and they want full custody of the kids because they're the women in their lives who are mothers of their children. They've publicly supported Lindsay Clancy, and that is going to affect the outcome of their custody cases. Here he is.
100%. I've already been consulting with some men in custody cases where their baby mama has been doing the solidarity hold the heart.
Don't say baby mama. You're a lawyer. You're an attorney.
And he's like, hey, this woman's got all kinds of former depressive issues. She's had self-harm issues. This now is evidence and validation that I have of that fact. Concern based upon, prior allegations with no evidence, but allegations of hitting the kids. And so, we're going to go and swing for the fences, and we're going to try to strip this woman from having visitation rights. I want to be able to have a forensic psychiatrist interview this woman, just see just how wackadoodle she is. And we're going to
wackadoodle. My God. All right. So the question would be, do
Your
you
Honor,
think if somebody...
the defense's case is quite simple. Justin's baby mama is wackadoodle, and so he should have full custody.
So weird. I would never say wackadoodle. I do question a lot of the people who I'm seeing supporting this lady, and as much as there's a high level of support, they seem like they're fans of her. Kind of gives me vibes of the Boston bomber, putting him on the cover of Rolling Stone and all that stuff, and his fans giving him fans mail. I'm like, isn't this guy who blew up people? Isn't he a terrorist loser? And I kind of felt that way a little bit about this case, and some of the supporters. There's certainly some legitimate gripes and interesting feedback on the case. But I wouldn't think that it would come up that somebody publicly supported this woman as much as just the mental issues that she might have, right? So they're saying she had threatened X, Y, or Z. I don't know if it would come up that maybe it would, that she posted, the mom of the child posts something positive saying she supports Lindsay Clancy, and now maybe you lose custody of your kids. And is that fair? Let us know what you think. That's one of the videos going viral. I don't know if I believe him, though, that attorney. Meanwhile, this kind of goes against that very point, because here's another woman going viral. Other side of the coin here. This woman says she has a new dating vetting process, and one question that she asks men on the first date.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me boost this. I got to boost this because I don't think it's very loud. I want it to be loud enough here. All right, here we go. Hang on.
My new vetting process for if I want to date a man, first date question I'm always going to be asking him is, do you think that Lindsay Clancy should go to jail for what she did? And if that man says yes, I'm getting up and walking out right then and there. I cannot spend the rest of my life with someone who thinks that that woman is guilty and deserves jail.
All right, well, the guilty part, she's definitely guilty. She says she's guilty. Her lawyer says she's guilty. But deserves jail would be the bigger question. She's saying this is what she's asking on dates. I'm going to go ahead and say that's a weird first date question. Yeah. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, if you're asking me about thoughts on Lindsay Clancy on our first date, you don't need to leave me because I disagree with you. I'm leaving the meal as soon as you ask this. I'm thinking, oh, this is obviously quite important to this person. I'm going to run in the other direction as fast as I possibly can.
Of all the first date banter you could decide on, you're going to pick something that's this divisive or like this serious. Like, you're supposed to be getting to know each other and having fun.
She's probably telling about as much truth as the lawyer from earlier. And then I see this from this weekend. Fox posted a story, and it says, 18-year-old freshman college soccer player allegedly killed by boyfriend who claimed he had a demon takeover. And then the responses on the social media post for this 18-year-old soccer player the freshman college soccer player who was killed by her boyfriend was, he didn't do it. He's a Leo. Don't worry, guys. I'm a TikTok detective. The man didn't do it. Let's start a protest. He didn't do it. It was here. Check her signs. He had PPD. Leave him alone. These comments are wild. I've already donated him $50,000.
That was my favorite comment, that I've already donated $50,000 to his GoFundMe.
Yeah, so they're now trying to utilize this same thing on other cases. In this case, one very unfortunate case where this young woman was killed by her boyfriend who claimed he had a demon takeover.
And now that we've made reference to the GoFundMe,
how's that doing?
Oh, just $35,000, $36,000 north of $1 million.
Okay, 1 million plus now. What was that the first time we checked on it? 700, 800?
I thought it was in the mid 800s.
And this is, by the way, it's not for Lindsay Clancy because it can't be. It's against the terms of service for GoFundMe. So they said it's for her parents.
It's the Musgrove Family Fund.
Yeah, there's a loophole to make it so you can get funds. The Carmelo Anthony loophole. Actually, I think they ended up taking his down at one point in time. But the Lindsay Clancy GoFundMe, over $1 million, is supposed to be for her parents, I guess. All right. Okay, when we come back, I got the Washington Post has been ordered to rehire somebody that they fired. We'll go over the statements that they made. And this must be weird. Like, you fire an employee and they say, you need to rehire them. A private arbitrator has ordered the Washington Post to rehire an opinion columnist. We'll talk about what happened there, and I'll get into the insane Iran story that I've been talking about, and an update on another story as well. We'll do a bit of a grab bag segment when we come back. That's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Real Radio is on Facebook at Real Radio 1041. Sponsored by the law offices of Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733. From the Clausman Law Traffic Center, car crash, call Clausman Law. ClausmanLaw.com.
Things are pretty mellow for the most part. If you're starting your ride or just grabbing a bite to eat, you won't be running into any problems on the major roadways. There are a couple things to look out for near the amusement parks.
All right. Hey, everybody. Dispatch Dan, I see your email about the white balance. I think you got it backwards. I think the white balance on my main cam is right. The white balance on the wide shot is not right. I think you got it backwards, but I might be wrong. Lots of great emails coming in. Lots of great dispatches. Let's see what else we got here, folks. I hope you're doing well on a Monday. We got a lot going on today, man. Paramount, Skydance, the merger still rolling on. And Paramount Skydance fighting back and targeting Mark Ruffalo, the activist left-wing actor dude, the Hulk dude. And he's been against their merger for whatever reason. Mark Ruffalo has fired back at Paramount Skydance after the media company accused him of invoking anti-Semitic tropes in his criticism of their merger with Warner Brothers. He brought up things like genocide and a couple of other issues in the post that he did about being against that merger, and they said he was anti-Semitic for it. Anna Faris has revealed that her son with Chris Pratt is religious and wants her to accept Jesus. She says, he's religious. I didn't grow up with religion. He's asked me to accept Jesus Christ as my Savior. I told him I would do anything for him, including this, but it's going to take a whole lot of long conversations. She says she was jarred by this. Very interesting. Chris Pratt, of course, is Christian, and he said, I promised that if Jack survived, I would devote my life to sharing God's message, and this time I meant it. So he said his kid surviving was what drove Chris Pratt, the father, to God. And now Anna Faris says her young son, who survived, is also a Christian and wants her to be a Christian. It's causing some friction. What would you do if your kid came up to you and said, I want you to be religious now? I need you to be religious. Would you do it for your kid? Not just religious, he's part of that one church. What church? Chris Pratt? I know he's religious, but I didn't know if he was like part of some church of note. Brad emails the show, tips@thenewsjunkie.com. There's a Boeing documentary on Netflix. Sorry to recommend this to you since I know you're a nervous flyer, but this is effing scary. I'll do everything in my power to never fly on a Boeing airplane until there are major changes to the company, Brad says. What do you think? Anybody seen that? This Boeing documentary on Netflix? Let me know if you have. 2 segments left. All pre-release propaganda, not fooling me, says Dwayne. I think he's reacting to GTA. Does it matter who I worship? Can I go pro-devil? I have a theory on Satanists. You can agree, you can disagree, but I think I'm right. My theory on Satanists is 99.99% of people who call themselves Satanists are operating in the world of parody and think it's cute to embrace Satanism. And they do it sort of as a way to thumb their nose at religious people, in particular Christians, but really just all religious people. And then there's like 0.1% of people who are actually Satanists worshiping Satan as a deity. That's my theory on Satanism. You're welcome. 90 seconds. Sean just described Catmon. Well, then ask her if I'm right. Zero says, I agree, but I still like the Satanists. Not for nothing, the Satanists actually have done some pretty important things in fighting for freedom from religion, you know, one of your negative rights, basically, in this country. The Satanists have done a lot of challenging the 10 Commandments being in public places and then saying, if you're opening it up to one religion with the 10 Commandments, then every religion, including Satanism, should be able to be involved. And that's been pretty important in a lot of ways. You are kind of right. As a member of the Satanic Temple, it's really just atheism and using the symbol of Satan to speak out against forced religion. Yeah, that's what my gut tells me. Seems to line up with what you're saying. All right, here we go. Let's come back. Coming back hot.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
The countdown to the new NFL season is on.
And now, all 32 in-market local teams can be heard on the free iHeartRadio app.
He's in! That's a jet touchdown! Just open the app and search your favorite team.
Plus, Fox Sports Radio breaks it all down.
As we get closer to week 1.
It's crazy, and it's fun.
Join the conversation and stay locked in.
It's the catch!
Live, local games with you all season long.
Download the iHeartRadio app.
Search NFL and press play.
Radio.
Forever at the crossroads between viral news and total chaos.
Weekend feeling about the Buck Cherry Tour bus?
I did, yeah. I almost pulled it for the hot sheet, and there was other stuff that was kind of more interesting. So
it looks like it wasn't what I thought immediately. I thought it was just their tour bus in an accident. It looks like it was like a big, giant accident that just so happened to also involve the Buck Cherry dudes in their tour bus.
It was not just their tour bus hitting one person. It was like a whole pileup.
It was a 5-vehicle crash.
Jeez.
And then there was like 3 separate accidents that came together. And the Buck Cherry tour bus was in the middle of it. The thing that was crazy to me was there was all these photos of the lead singer of Buck Cherry along with these stories. And that guy is looking, it looks like he came out of a crypt or something. He is, I don't know what I expect.
Has he not always looked like that?
He's the crazy bitch guy. The crazy bitch.
Yeah. I actually wrote a joke for the story that I didn't pull. It was going to be like, the representative of Buck Cherry's management sends his condolences out there, and the band just says the whole thing is really crazy, bitch.
And you took that away from the people?
Well, not anymore. I didn't.
You took
not
that
anymore.
Away from
I didn't.
You were planning on taking away. What about the people who had like a doctor's appointment before the power hour and would have missed out on that moment? You think that's okay to do that to the people?
Yeah, I'll try not to do it in the future.
They're okay. They are all right. The Buck Cherry folks, don't worry about it.
I was also, part of me was like, Buck Cherry is on tour?
Yeah.
Playing Crazy Bitch? Or is it one of those
Crazy Bitch?
I Love the 2000s tour?
That song, it was catchy when it first came out.
They had another. What was their other? They had another song. They were almost like a 2-hit wonder.
When you talk about red flags, I used to think, and I think I still stand by this, a woman liking Crazy Bitch by Buck Cherry, liking the song a lot, is a major red flag.
It's about me.
Yeah, like a woman is like, "Oh, this is my favorite song." Like, if you're
I'm
too
a crazy
into
bitch.
if you're too into Crazy Bitch, the song by Buck Cherry, that's a red flag. I think it's like you go, "Oh, I'm just wild." It's like somebody who calls himself spicy. If you gave them one word to describe themselves, they're like, "Oh, you know what? My word is spicy." I'd be like, "Oh, okay, you're a pain in the ass." You're a pain in the ass.
They're on tour. They've got some dates coming up in Fort Myers, St. Pete, Orlando, Dallas, Houston. I guess where was it that they had the accident?
The accident happened in South Carolina, somewhere in South Carolina where this went down.
And then they've got some dates in Vegas with Scorpions. And then a couple festival stops, but yeah, mostly just them on tour.
So there was a crash, a single car crash involving a male driver, and then he got out of the car, and then he was hit by another car and killed.
Jeez.
And the driver who struck and killed the man was not arrested, but then moments later, a third crash occurred, and that was with Buck Cherry's tour bus involved in it. This could be weird. This will be a weird situation. Over at the Washington Post, let me bring this up because I guess the Washington Post, the newspaper, has been ordered to rehire a columnist that they fired. So they fired this woman after she made some comments about Charlie Kirk's killing the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And the woman who is their opinion columnist, they fired her, Karen Attiah. And now they've been ordered to hire her back. A private arbitrator has ordered the Washington Post. Now, what's a private arbitrator? Like, do we have to follow the rules of this person?
Yeah, you agree to the rules of the arbitration. I think that historically, the courtroom TV shows, like your Judge Judy's, are private arbitrators. Like, because it's not a real... I don't think it's like a legit courtroom. I think it's you agree to be on this TV show, and then, even though Judge Judy, is a judge, was a judge, whatever her particular level of judgedom is, because it's the TV show and because of all that, you just kind of, both parties agree to follow the decision of the arbitration. It's kind of what Disney was coming under fire for by saying...
Disney Plus?
By saying that the person who died at Disney Springs, technically because they're a Disney Plus subscriber, they have already agreed to not actually take Disney to court. And the actual court, you have to do private arbitration. And it was such a stretch that Disney was catching a lot of bad press for it. But yeah, this is...
So I would guess in this case, then, they have a labor union probably for the Washington Post, and the labor union probably has a deal where they agree to arbitration, and they'll abide by what the arbitrator says. Because the arbitrator said that the Washington Post needs to hire this woman back, despite what she said about Charlie Kirk after he was killed.
I'm not exactly sure that a judge can order a company to hire somebody, like a judge in a regular ass courtroom. Like, if you feel that you were unfairly fired in a state where you have laws protecting you from that, or in a situation where your agreement with the company would allow you to sue based on what you feel was unfair,
right?
You would just get damages. You would seek money. Well,
Right.
I don't know that a judge can actually order a company like the Washington Post to say, you have to hire this person. And
this was a year ago, by the way, because that's when Charlie Kirk was killed.
Correct.
Like a year ago. So it was after that.
Almost a year ago.
The decision is the result of a year-long fight between the Post and Miss Attiah, who last year accused the company of violating its labor agreement and social media policy when it fired for her for posts she said were within her purview as an opinion columnist. A clause in the agreement allows employees to submit disputes for arbitration. I think I have the Post. Let me see. Give me a second. Let me go away from my laptop for just there we go. Let me bring this up and hang on. I did have this somewhere. Okay. Here's what she tweeted, this lady, or she may have posted on Blue Sky, actually. She posted, for everyone saying political violence has no place in this country, remember 2 Democratic legislators were shot in Minnesota just this year, and America shrugged and moved on. Okay. Then she said, this is after Charlie Kirk was shot and killed. I wish I had hope for gun control and I could believe that political violence has no place in this country, but we live in a country that accepts white children being massacred by gun violence, not that just accepts it, but worships violence. This is dopey takes. Like the idea that our culture actually celebrates these kind of things are just, it's obviously stupid. You're oversimplifying. Political violence has no place in this country, but we will also do nothing to curb the availability of guns used to carry out said violence. The denial and empty rhetoric is learned helplessness because the truth is America's sick and there's no cure in sight. Here's one of the ones that was cited in the termination letter. Part of what keeps America so violent is the insistence that people perform care, empty goodness, and absolution for white men who espoused hatred and violence. I don't know if Charlie Kirk espoused hatred and violence, but that's what she was saying in that tweet. That was one of the ones cited. And the other one that Washington Post cited was, she said, refusing to tear my clothes and smear ashes on my face in performative mourning for a white man that espoused violence is not the same as violence. So in both, I don't know why the white man thing comes into it. That usually is an indicator that you're race obsessed, that you're like an identity politics obsessed person where you just need to, like, why does that need to come into it at all? But I mean, when somebody's an opinion writer, like this is the kind of stuff I would probably expect them to crank out. And the arbitration has said, you send her back, right back to the Washington Post she goes.
Right back to the place that doesn't want her.
Yeah, that's going to be weird. And then
that's the gay cakes thing all over again.
Is this, I want to see if this is this video from Iran. Because Iran has this new video trying to get Barron Trump killed, the president's son. Hang on. All right, here's his
داده‌های فاش شده در این ویدیو حاصل یک نفوذ بی سابقه است. اطلاعات را دختری در اختیار ما گذاشته که با عبور از سنگین‌ترین پروتکل‌های سرویس مخفی آمریکا.
So it says you can find them at home playing video games. We need you to kill President Trump's 20-year-old son, Barron Trump. And the government of Iran has put a $20 million bounty.
And just release this on whatever Iranian YouTube?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like in Iran, let me see if I can find this. In Iran, I know we have to take a break here, but they have posters like, hold on, Iran kill Trump, maybe. They have like posters all around the city with stuff like this. Now it's kind of filled with the Barron Trump thing. Because where to kill Barron Trump was the post they had. But they have all over their city, all over their country, rather, they have like posters about killing our elected officials.
Why Barron specifically?
I don't know. That Pete Hegseth has been in them too. Trump obviously has been in them. Marco Rubio. Let me see if I can find the Marco Rubio one. But they do these, and these are like official government things. And they'll say, we want you to kill Marco Rubio. Which is the big difference, obviously, between a country like Iran and us. But the latest one has been that they put up these signs and released a video about $20 million, did I say, or $10 million bounty on the 20-year-old son of President Trump, Barron Trump, which is kind of wild. All right, tell us what you think about that. When we come back, we'll do the final dispatches, stories that didn't make the cut. And today I learned to wrap everything up for a Monday. That's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Real radio is the Jim Colbert Show.
Epic treasure hunters are looking for pirates.
All right, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us today. Godspeed. We're going to have a fun week. We are going to have a good time. I keep seeing people posting about Anthony Kiedis of the Red Hot Chili Peppers and this woman that he's dating, who I think is like 30 years younger than him. And she grabbed him. She grabbed his crotch in public over the weekend. It's love, folks. It is love. You wouldn't know. Can you see if Under the Bridge has any curse words? It's time. It's time to rate the show. Rate the show. 10 out of 10. It goes over here into the Hall of Fame. 1 out of 10 into the Hall of Shame, into the corner over there. Thank you, sir. Rate the show. How do you rate the show? What out of 10? 7? You rate the show a 7 out of 10?
I don't know. I didn't listen to all of it.
You're listening to your fucking audiobook, aren't you?
No, I'm listening to you.
If you choose that audiobook over me, guess what's going to happen?
What?
You like my shirt? What?
It's something.
It's
Our
something.
Applebee's closed, though.
I know.
Because of you.
It's not because of me.
Probably.
It's not. See you later, alligator. There she goes. The great Courtney. The great Courtney Splendulio. There's only one of her. Thank God. And I got her. Ha ha! Take that. 8 out of 10 wackadoodles. 420 out of 10. 9 Satanists out of 10. 9 out of 10 robots running into walls. 10 out of 10 duck ringtones. 10 out of 10 bikini pilot plane crashes. 10 out of 10 out of 10 out of 10s. 10 Applebee Narcans out of 10. 10 out of 10 stream shirts. 10 out of 10 druggies that needed Narcan at Applebee's. 10 out of 10 big screen TVs under the bridge. The New York Times floats an opportunity. Mr. Vigna, Paul Vigna, writes, there is a solution to our $40 trillion deficit. This is for real. This is in the New York Times. All right? There is a solution to our $40 trillion deficit in this country. They said back in ancient Sumerian times, they used to come out to the public and say that all public debts are written off. It was called a margi, a blanket declaration of public debt cancellation. Basically, the New York Times is floating an idea that we should do what Michael Scott did with bankruptcy. That's what they're saying. Unbelievable. I'll put this over here for later. Good email. Put it in the good email pile. Everybody, I hope you had a good time. I hope you enjoyed yourself. If you enjoyed even a moment of the stream today, YouTubers, please hit that like button. Subscribe. It's absolutely free for you to subscribe. And hopefully you'll enjoy hanging out with the show each day like so many other people do here in the lovely chat. God bless you. I support you. And I think you're just special. So on that note, we'll see you tomorrow for a Share the Show Tuesday. Big week of shows. And tomorrow we're going to put in our predictions for the Lindsay Clancy case. Stay gold.
You need help now. One of our licensed and certified technicians can have your AC blowing cold air in no time. That's the Frank Gay way.
That's the Frank Gay way.
FrankGayServices.com.
When I hit my 50s, I felt like things were slowing down.
This is Sandra's Metamucil story.
I started taking Metamucil for digestion, but had no idea it would impact so much more. Not only did Metamucil help me feel more regular, but my heart health saw the benefits too.
Metamucil. One simple routine, 4 health benefits. Digestive health starts here. Go to Metamucil.com for more details.
This is what football sounds like.
Straight up the gut for 5 yards and the score.
And iHeartRadio is the official partner of the NFL Podcast Network.
Welcome to NFL Daily. We're doing the work to get you up to date.
Just download the free iHeartRadio app and search NFL.
Still sleeping on that old bed? Mattress Firm's sleep experts can help you choose the perfect upgrade. They'll guide you every step, answering your questions. Shop today and save big during the best sale of the year. They make sleep easy.
Where breaking news meets broken people. This is the News Junkie.
And today, I learned to wrap everything up for a Monday. Let me just go over the folks who supported us today. Quiet day on the gifting front, but thank you to Missy for 5, Tom for 5 gifted subscriptions. Thank you to Coral Dream for 1, and we appreciate you supporting the show. If you'd like to get in on the action, subscribe over at thenewsjunkie.com. And there's all sorts of different items you can have. Oh, by the way, I added that right on the homepage. So if you look now, if you go over to thenewsjunkie.com, you can see the rewards. I added some of these canvas tote bags that we had, and there's 15 of those that were available. We still have the OG magnet, and that's only 1 point. So if you subscribe, you can claim that. Or if you gift 1 sub, you can claim that.
Why do I feel like I'm getting a text message soon? Like, snag me a canvas bag.
The little canvas tote bags are great. Yeah, they're perfect for putting all sorts of things, like very fresh Budweiser cans, or Bud Light cans, as it were. And you put those right in there, like a day old, fresh. Back on a Plane stickers, lots of merch up there, lots of rewards if you subscribe or gift subscriptions. That's the best way to support the show. Do it over at thenewsjunkie.com. All right, first an update. That woman who was missing in Las Vegas, and then somebody else was messaging from her phone, or so the family thought. They found that woman dead, unfortunately.
Oh,
she was
the
missing.
aunt, right?
That's right. Yeah, she'd been missing since August 8th. She left a friend's home east of the Las Vegas Strip to pick up some iron pills at a CVS. And then they found her dead. They found her near Harry Reid International Airport's Terminal 1 parking garage. And now they still don't have answers as to what happened, why she died, who was using her phone, how they got her phone. So we're going to keep an eye on the story of this New York City grandmother that was found dead now in Las Vegas. Let's work in some extra dispatches. What say you? Here we go.
These are the final dispatches, but Sean will probably only play one.
Not today, baby. Got to get at least 3 in here, I think. Let me see. Let me refresh with the latest and the greatest. And somebody wants to talk about the Lindsay Clancy thing. We're headed to a verdict there before too long. Here's Bangs.
You know what? I totally believe that lawyer. Because if the roles were completely reversed, and it was all these men coming out like, oh, I support Chris Benoit, he's innocent. It was totally justified for, what he did to his family. All these women would have turned around and immediately have used that in court. So I totally understand the justification behind it. Them supporting her. Me too, Lindsay. That right there should be grounds for protecting your children.
Chris Benoit is a good comparison. I was thinking over the weekend, and I said, if there was a man who went into a grocery store and shot and killed 3 people, including like a kid, and then it came out afterwards that the man was struggling with post-traumatic stress disorder, had served in the armed forces, and wasn't getting the mental help that he needed, and just cracked. And he knew he was having problems, and he tried to get help, but he couldn't get help. And he cracked, and he went in with his gun that he shouldn't have had to this grocery store, and he thought targeted these 3 people and killed them, including a kid. If after that, a bunch of PTSD advocates gathered and all these guys were at the courthouse and they were cheering his cars, hey, the car's going by, and they're cheering him and they're taking a picture with his attorney, that would be weird. And that's what's happening, okay? That's just the real side of this. That would be weird if that was happening with a whole bunch of dudes, and it's weird that it's happening the way it is in this case. Do we have somebody with a, hopefully, with a good Rate My Blank? Here's Mama Greaser with her weird talent. That's our Rate My Blank for this week. Your weirdest talent, all right?
ZYXWVUTSRQPONMLKJIHGFEDCBA. When I was a kid, I memorized how to say the alphabet backwards while riding in the car because I would get so bored. But I think that's kind of the only weird talent I have. Anyways, love you guys. Have a great show.
I don't hate it. It's
interesting for sure.
Yeah, that's the best one we have so far. So I am bookmarking that, Mama Greaser. We'll take more of them tomorrow.
Seems like
on
something
the show.
that, like, you ever get pulled over for DUI? You're like ready with this, and they never ask you for it, and you're like, man, if only they would have asked me to say the alphabet backwards. I had that thing on lock.
You're like, are you sure? Are you sure? I can do it if need be. Keep those coming in. Those Rate My Blanks. Your weirdest talent, and if you explain what it is, we might call you on it. We might ask you to prove it, and then you'll have to pop on a Zoom with us later in the week, and we'll see if you were telling the truth. For right now, let's get the hell out of here. Let's do Today I Learned.
The following information may make you feel smarter, but will not actually increase your IQ. So don't get cocky. Now it's time for what we call Today I Learned.
Today I Learned for Monday, August 24th, 2026. Today I Learned an Oklahoma man died in 2014 from an atomic wedgie he received from his stepson.
Oh, from his stepson?
The 50-year-old man got one from his stepson, an atomic
really
wedgie.
Did not like his stepdad. That
started getting numbness in his side and ended up dying eventually.
Oof.
Today I learned this band right here.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
That's right, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Under the bridge like that hobo with the flat screen, man. Just top-notch hobo living, baby.
So when he wrote this, different times under that bridge.
True. Red Hot Chili Peppers guitarist John Frusciante went to an audition for Frank Zappa's 1988 touring band. But he left the rehearsal room before actually playing. He said, I wanted to be a rock star, do drugs, and get girls. I wouldn't be able to do that in Frank Zappa's band. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you, lovely Lolita, for 3 gifted on the way out. Appreciate you. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place.